record now. So recording, so I don't forget.
So you missed me and Sean syncing up our head wiggles while you were talking.
I
It was
know,
very
I didn't-
serious.
You guys can do it again. And then does
was
music
so
sound
good.
okay, or is music
Not
too
the
low?
same.
It took a
Recording in
minute.
progress.
Oh.
Is music okay, or is it too low? Or is it too high?
I think it's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So yeah, that is where we left off, and so I guess we can begin. I'll say, give me a moment here. Let's see. Take ourselves back to the moment. But before we do that, I actually want to go back in time momentarily. And this is really not something that you all are witnessing as characters. This is really more above table for the players at the table to kind of see in a very cinematic fashion. We open on the sound of heavy hooves as we kind of pull back and see this horse riding this steed rhythmically over the hillside. And we see that on top of that horse is Caneth, clad in all his armor, riding. As we kind of push in on his side, we see that there's that little pouch with the message provided that was given to him by Adramelech to be delivered. He is riding down that high road, he's long away from Waterdeep, and he's getting close to where, like, the land around him is kind of like the skies are cloudy and gray, but not quite, like, almost like it's dusk. Night hasn't completely fallen. And he rounds the bend and crests over this top of this hill, and he comes to a landscape before him, and there's just grisly sight as there are soldiers strewn all across what was a battlefield. There once were all these, dirty banners that were once vibrant are just like muddled and torn. And as he looks down, he realizes that the many of them are Neverwinter's valiant defenders. They're intermingled with those dark soldiers from the dragon armies, a pitched battle that happened here. And he dismounts, and he can see off in the distance this dark, craggy castle, a ruin of a castle. And as he walks across, taking in the carnage, there is a moment where he stops and he almost freezes, where Caneth rarely, as a knight, as a noble knight, is ever really shocked. He's always ready to stand in the face, I think, of anything. But when he sees this, he kind of freezes and he drops to his knees as his eye catches something. There is this black cloak lying in the dirt. It's intricate gold trim, and on it it's all held together by a brooch that is adorned in the unmistakable Archibald family crest. A sword with a dragon wrapped around it, and his heart sinks. And he's at a loss as he kind of picks it up and holds it close to his chest, and his eyes begin to kind of scatter back and forth around the field, and he begins to walk back and forth, like looking for something, looking for someone. And he does it so long that the sun completely sets, and it is night as he walks, checking the bodies, periodically pulling someone up from the ground as their hair falls and dropping the body back as it's not it. And eventually he just kind of slowly is exhausted and is just standing there when his contemplation and his moment is abruptly interrupted by like an explosion and a rumble that's happening far away. And as he turns and looks over his shoulder back towards Waterdeep, some of the trees around him, birds flying up, he just hears that rumbling. He knows it's coming from Waterdeep. As he gazes out, seeing very small in the distance the silhouette of the Lord's palace as it's lifting up, floating over the city for the first time. Right? This is where he was at the moment that you all saw it lifting up and rising, this plume of smoke going up from the city very far in the distance. And at that moment, the kind of a dread clenching in his chest, he just kind of stands there looking out at that kind of vibrant orb appearing over Waterdeep, or rearing above where Waterdeep should be. And we'll crash to black, and that's our opening for tonight. Excellent. We are back. Now, I know this party, the left hand, wants nothing more than to rest, and I want nothing more than to give them that. But we are not quite there yet.
There it is.
Almost.
Malcolm will see a beaten and bedraggled group of adventurers on a floating castle after interaction with the dragon and say, fuck them. They can wait.
And so, as you all are standing there, Vajra and Lady Silverhand,
I'm so tired.
They come bursting into the throne room. Like, we're right back. Eldra Khan is now dust on the ground. And they, as Vajra and they both enter, Vajra has this look of relief washing over her face as she sees that the girl is saved. She's looking towards Lenore, but then her urgency is just like palpable as she goes, okay. She sees that Eldra Khan is gone. She doesn't say anything. Where is the staff? Where's the staff? I need the staff. Now, if you don't remember, I know, kind of flashback.
I remember
Amnon
nothing.
grabbed both
the
staffs.
Staff just
and,
went missing.
Yeah, staff went missing. So she's like, where's the staff? If we don't have that staff, we are all going to be zoomed within 1 minute. And then, so as she says this,
I have it here.
what you see off in the distance is there are hundreds of dragonels,
Oh shit.
like swirling, like coming up from, like, kind of taking off from the ground, and you all are looking out, you know, off the balcony. You can kind of see them like swirling in the sky, and kind of beginning to like come towards the
Which
the
staff? She
palace.
has the black staff, or
Yeah, the one you
She asked
picked
for
up
the
off
black
the
staff.
Velvet Room.
Yeah,
so I give it up.
and you give it to her.
Begrudgingly.
Yes, begrudgingly. But I keep his other staff behind
We'll
me.
get it. We'll get it again next time.
And so, as she is doing this, these dragons are kind of like swirling, getting closer and closer. She goes, "Thank you," and she kind of looks at you like, almost like to say, like, you were gonna keep it. Like it's like meant for the one like mage of Waterdeep. But she doesn't say anything. She just kind of shakes her head, and she goes, and they're all like, these dragonels are kind of turning their attentions to the fortress, kind of like forming and preparing for this counter assault. Now, at that moment, you see, you all weren't really paying attention to, Avix, the golden dragon, or the bronze dragon that's lying on her side. She's like heavily bloodied from battle. She rises up, she's kind of bloody from that fight with the death dragon and with the power of Tiamat. She says, "I'll hold them off," and she says it kind of a bit determined.
Wait, can I crawl over to her because, as it turns out, I have precisely one 4th level spell slot left, so I can I'll cure wounds her at 4th level.
Boom.
Which would be 1d8 above first. That would be 3 plus.
Healing light, this power begins to charge through her. Hopefully it's enough for this massive dragon that she is.
Well, I can't promise that.
Yeah.
Machina will go over and cast invisibility on the dragon.
Oh,
24 plus 24 plus 3, 27 points of healing. It's the best I can do right now.
Nice.
All right, and then I'm gonna cast my cure wounds at 5th level now that I can.
Oh, wow. I'm over here with cure wounds at 4th, and Amnon comes along with his actual degree.
Doctor! I'm a doctor!
7 HP from Demetria.
All right,
Invisibility
Stand
from-
aside, kid. Stand aside and let the doctor work.
No, the real thing you should be saying is, you could have done that the whole time. No, I
You got
couldn't.
me conscious. You got me conscious, so.
Yeah. Okay, let me just roll all these dice really quick.
It's so funny. 5th level.
Well, this
Because
is the
warlocks can only cast at 5th level, so.
well, and also this is the first time I can cast above the
Right,
third.
because we leveled up, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's why I have the extra spell slot now, because I didn't have it last time.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Whatever system we end up playing next, Malcolm, can there please be a healer class? Because I just want to play a healer. I dig this.
Yeah, there. Yes, there will be.
27.
Yeah. But and I actually like the way leveling up works because it will actually seem more natural. Whereas in D&D, it's like I suddenly got new magic. It's like I got.
I can suddenly attack twice.
Yeah. It's just so random. It feels. But okay. So then, how much did you heal, Amnon?
27.
Hey, same.
27. Okay. Nice. So
We do that. We sync up 27.
So, yeah. So this moment is happening. This glorious moment as this group, tired and bloody, is still willing to, help and aid in any way they can. True heroes, right here, not reserving their power for themselves. And this
Not
dragon
reserving their
takes-
power for themselves after Amnon begrudgingly gives the black staff back.
It was literally the last spell slot Amnon had, so...
So Avix goes taking off, and you guys have given her a better fighting chance against this horde as she's invisible. And so that first attack where her blast, where her breath weapon goes out, they don't even see it coming. And then she's able to dive away and loop where you guys can't even see where she's at, and then kind of claw. You kind of just see Dragonelle's kind of dropping from the sky, one here, one there, as she's kind of out there fighting the good fight. In the midst of all this tension, Vajra kind of takes the staff, and she kind of invokes it, and she causes it to burn with this red glow at the base, and then she slams it into the ground, and she kind of makes this brilliant heptagram with these 7 sides, 7 points, and they're all kind of interconnected. And then she's sitting she kind of stands in the middle of it as light, radiant light begins to burn and burst up through the floor. And she just starts to mutter this ancient language that long forgotten, that no one can really make out. And then Lenore just kind of stands, and not in an angry way, but kind of slowly pushes away from you, Tempe, and just walks away from you and walks to stand into one of those spots at one of the 7 points, and just outstretches her hands towards Vajra, almost and as she does it, Lady Vajra kind of gives her a look back and kind of smiles, and then Lady Silverhand kind of nods and steps into the point opposite of Lenore, and then she starts to outstretch her hands, both of them kind of giving freely of themselves and their power. What are you all doing here?
Can I go in? So now that we've leveled up, I can sustain a rage essentially as long as I want. Can I go into a rage and stand at one of these points?
You can.
I want to essentially that energy that I have of what is it? What do they call the
Being
nature
really
magic?
mad.
That nature. Well, yeah, but it's,
Totem.
but there's the 3 different types of magic. There's divine,
Primordial.
arcane, primordial. I want to channel that energy into this.
I'm gonna go do the same thing with my divine energy. Why the fuck not? I'm gonna die the second something hits me, but why not?
Araka just called and said I have to go to the other one for hell. So
For Eldritch power.
yeah, my boss is my boss. So I gotta go.
Oh, and plus
Is there
the
a-
five
is
of
there a
us
robot
plus
and a
Lenore and
normal
Vajra,
person?
there's 7.
Point to stand on?
Is there a what?
Is there a robot point and a normal person point to stand on?
The magic
Well,
of friendship and the
there
magic
are-
of knowledge.
There are 7 sides, so there are enough for everyone if 2 have been taken up. So yeah, there are enough for all 5 of you.
I
Bam.
Don't
mean,
worry.
Alright.
I was gonna say, Axel can take one of the spots. I'm just kidding.
Axel
You don't-
sits
you don't
on
have to,
Tepe's
I'm just- I
shoulder
don't
and
know if-
Tepe pretends that it's him.
Just
Yeah.
instantly like vaporizes.
Would
Yeah.
Machina or Tempe go over? And Amnon, you were saying so. Amnon, you are taking one too, or no?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Machina will take a point. Add technomancy to this.
Nice. Okay.
yeah, I guess if everybody else is, I'll stand
Knowledge.
on the just for Lenore.
Nice.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I love this moment. I love this for us.
Yep. Amnon's just gonna close his eyes and just think really hard about Araka, just to try to like channel her into this.
He's like, all right,
So
Mom.
I'm guessing it's going Demetra, Lenore, Tempe are all next to each other.
Probably. I think. Doesn't quite matter the order, but as long as they seem to all be standing here, all hands outstretched.
All our power combined.
As this
Captain
and suddenly
Planet appears
this
in the middle.
arc of
Captain Left Hand.
arc of light coming off of Vajra's black staff slams into all of your chests. Wisdom saves.
Oh shit. Hey, Vajra, uncool. We're like standing, we're like going, where's the pylon? We touch the pylon, and Malcolm's like, I guess.
I
Wisdom
got a
save.
15.
I rolled a natural 20, then I got a +5, so that's a 25.
All right, with the nat 20, then you automatically count as 2 successes. So if someone does fail, you'll count as a success for them.
Me, because I got a natural 4 plus 7.
So as like as Demetrius kind of
Am
wavers,
I still
gets
casting my fire's
thrown back,
charisma?
Amnon
16.
kind of like channels his power and it kind of like rights Demetria.
Thanks, Doc.
I'll just say that Axel jumps over to her.
What's the Paladin aura?
Paladin Aura is +3.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Okay, that's a 20.
Then I got a 18.
So you all watch. I'm hearing no one seems like they failed. Bo, did I hear your number?
No one but Demetra.
But Demetria, but yeah,
Okay.
the nat 20 saved it. So.
You're muted, Lex, or you were.
Uh-oh.
Well, sorry, the little mute button sticks, so sometimes I
Yeah.
push it and it doesn't work. 18.
Okay. And
All
so all of you kind of in this moment, your heart's in the right place, just Care Bear style moment, you know, like you watch as the high mage Vajra stands at the center of this, and she's clutching that staff, and that power is pulsating through. You all, like, your feet begin to kind of like slowly lift off the ground as you levitate, being held by this, and it doesn't feel like it's burnt. It doesn't feel like it. At first, that first slap, it's so intense that at first it feels like you're gonna die, like it's gonna stop your heart, and then it kind of like that power begins to kind of rhythmically run through you and channel to a point where you feel okay, like you feel stabilized in it. And so as this is all happening, looking, and she's doing this kind of right to kind of set it. It's in the palace, but it's right there, close enough to where those balcony pillars are that are all crumbled, so you can kind of see out into the city, and you can see down below some of the gates kind of opening, and you can see Neverwinter soldiers like pouring into Waterdeep, and you see war taking place, very small, like ants in the city, fighting dragon soldiers. At this moment, Vajra starts to try to like focus. She like upturns the power, and this forces you all to like kind of throws you all back as your eyes like light comes out of your eyes and your mouth. Charisma save on this one.
How dare you?
Much better.
As suddenly like all of the memories up until this point, all of the experiences you guys have had together start to like run through your minds at the same time, muddling themselves together.
Do we get a
21.
+3 on this?
16.
Man.
Y'all about to get mind fucked by like
Hey.
200 years in a library.
I got an 8.
Or like that scene from Fifth Element where she's catching up on world history and she's just going through.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Oh yeah, it ends on nuke. Yeah.
Damn, I love fucking Fifth Element.
I know, right?
Great, such a good movie.
That was a good one.
I got to see it for like the 20th anniversary. They did it on the big screen at AMC, and I got to go see it with my buddies.
Cheryl gets inspiration for that reference, Malcolm.
That's you. I will give you that.
I feel like
inspiration for
I've
that.
gotten.
It's such a
I
good
feel like
movie.
I've gotten inspiration for a Fifth Element reference before. Actually, I feel like this isn't the first time this has
It's
happened.
deserved, man. It's well deserved. Like,
So, as this is happening, all successful. Is this power kind of rolling through you all? I think I heard all successes. I didn't think I heard any misses.
13 for Machina.
Okay.
21.
21.
21.
16.
Bunch of 21s.
Tippy. It's a
I
group
got
set.
an 8.
Group checks. So even though Machina was a little low, the others you all pass. So it counts. So no negative anything. And so at this moment, that you guys are kind of like you all now feel connected to the Blackstaff, and in this weird way, you can kind of see for a moment, almost like you're looking down on the city as if there was a table. You can see all the city and you can see all those huge statues, and all of them that were like hands were stretched upwards towards the sky. They all began to kind of move and turn as Vajra is able to kind of bring them back into control. Those colossal begin to crack and move, and they begin to swat and tear at dragonels from the sky, catching them in their grip, kind of crushing them. And they just began to kind of go to war for the city as every one of the Colossi are now working in unison all through Vajra, and your energy is helping her.
Our city, yes.
At this moment, your bodies can only take so much, though. For the third and final check, a Constitution save. Demetria has an inspiration if she
A Fifth Element inspiration.
Natural 20.
Which I will
Nice.
use.
So
For a
you can
28.
now, with a natural 20, you can pass. You can give an auto success to someone that does fail in the group.
Can I
Very
have this
fun.
be kind of like a moment where like his
Yeah, you tell me how.
this primordial energy is like spreading throughout the group, and everyone has kind of like a helmet basically of like the spectral energy, but it looks like whatever animal they're tied to.
Okay.
So Bo has this bear kind of full body armor that's like the spectral armor, but everyone else is kind of given this like little bit of
Mine will
resistance.
be a dragon head, and I will need it because even with my inspiration, first roll was a 3, second roll was a 2. So I will need that. So
I would
with my
like to
bonus-
assume that we're next to each other, and so that like
With my bonus, that becomes a whopping 7.
So what you realize
I have
as
an
Dirty
extra
play.
peacock tail.
what you
Yes.
get on your roll.
What did we roll for?
Constitution. save.
Constitution save.
I didn't really fucking roll a con save. I was distracted by animals. Do we still? Is it +3 for this too?
Yeah,
Yep.
if you're near me.
And it's 20.
oh shit, that means I rolled a 31.
Oh Jesus
okay.
Christ, Bo.
3 successes so far. Okay, I'm not.
Dirty
Yeah,
20 for
18.
Machina.
Okay, so you were gonna pass. So, another success here is you guys did not fail one of those. As Demetria, for a moment, body starts to like ignite, like she's gonna burn, and like you're able to force like Bo, you're able to kind of channel what did you call it? The spectral bear energy into her, and
Yeah,
and
that like primordial.
it and it
Energy.
stabilizes. And for a moment, it felt like hot, too close for comfort, and then it stabilized on you, Demetria. And all of you are kind of like kind of seeing Bo's energy on all of you, kind of in those helmets. Vajra throws her gaze up to the circling dragons in the sky and those who are closing in. Avix can only do so much, but she starts to direct her energy directly into the Blackstaff, and it begins to emit this like white light. Her voice goes stronger and stronger, speaking that language. And as she's like speaking, it begins to like blend with the staff's power, pushing outward, and this orb like begins to like build around you all like a force field. And as it builds and builds and builds, like psionic power, then it goes boom. It goes out like a force field blast, and every dragon caught in it is just hit with this like psionic energy, this psychic blast that almost like a ringing, a wrenching in their minds that causes anything draconic within the city limits to want to get the fuck out. And so they just begin slashing, like flying up any way to get out of the like airspace of Waterdeep, as Vajra is able to secure and reestablish the ward that was over Waterdeep. Those that are even dragon kinds that aren't able to fly slowly begin their minds are just eaten away until they're drivel, until they like kind of slowly shrivel up and die on the streets of Waterdeep.
Sorry, I'm numb.
Yeah.
Not Dragonborns, but because if that was the case, you shouldn't have been able to enter the city in the first episode. And there's a lot of argument. There's a lot of argument around that in old Waterdeep lore. Dragonborns are not welcome in the city. Can't walk through the gates
During Dragonborn Pride Month.
I know. In D&D 5th edition, they have created belonging and righted that with Care Bear magic. And so Dragonborns are fine.
I can just picture.
Hey man, this is beautiful. This is beautiful.
It's beautiful. So yes, it's always been that way. In Waterdeep, in the new Dragonborns are completely fine. They somehow are not quite connected to being dragons. They're not, and it makes sense because they're humanoid. They're dragon kind, but they're not dragons. The Dragonels are dragons. The Draconians are more dragon. They have tails, they have wings. And so as this protective ward is going up, it stands strong, and as it begins to happen, this kind of like powerful energy begins to take over and reestablish itself. And in that moment, kind of like the power begins to dissipate. And through those clouds, like a bit of like the morning sun begins to break, even though like it's kind of like remember, like, you know, it's close to like 4 a.m, so it's not sunlight, but it's just the dawn, just a breaking in that distance across that horizon, as you all slowly float down and collapse against the floor there. Time is gonna move on. We may, you know, as within a few hours it will be morning. But if there's anything you all want to share here in this moment and now, I will kind of slow things down and open things up to you.
As this Care Bear energy lowers us back down, and we've saved the city with the power of friendship, as we do best here at the Fast and Furious franchise of Gentleman Game Master. As that energy begins to leave Demetria, though, she almost feels its absence a little more keenly than just the power itself leaving her. Because as she is sort of placed back on the ground and her knees buckle, she's pretty low on hit points, so feeling pretty beaten up. But she's just hit with the full realization of, right, having lost Eldricon after wanting to try and save him, bring him home, having lost Ravi, probably seeing Tempe and Lenore reunite and realizing that she's not going to ever have a reunion like that with the people that she's lost so far. It's a pretty heavy sort of melancholy bit of quiet that Demetria falls into as she just kind of rests and waits to see where everyone else is going to start going.
I would like, not necessarily knowing the thoughts that are going through Demetria's mind, but just seeing her like tired, I would like to extend a hand to her to support her in this moment.
Demetria like looks up for a moment, looks at Bo's extended hand. This is like shot from the trailers. She grabs his hand and lets him pull her to her feet. Did our buddy Avix survive? She survived, right? Our dragon friend.
The dragon kind of comes landing back, kind of like perches down, and as the invisibility kind of like rolls off of her, she nods to you all. Vajra looks to her, nods, and looks and smiles, and it just says, "Thank you, thank you." And Lady Silverhands is kind of just reaching her hands out to just touch whoever's within distance for a moment, just because she's been through so much with you all. She was down with you all in hell, and then she almost just collapses over to her knees and just kind of like takes a moment and just lies on even for her for the moment, like she's always kind of showing that stoic fortitude, and she just lets it go for a moment and lies there on that palace floor. And so the night, the morning continues to roll on, and as you all rest, as you all continue, however you talk, or even if there's no words that are said, I don't know. I'm going to turn it over to you all. But one thing that is evident, you're still on this floating palace. It stopped moving. It's now just seeming to hover within the airspace of Waterdeep. And then one thing you notice is that there are now 2 moons in the sky. One,
Can I ask?
that orb has like shrank. It's like distance itself, like it almost like it went up into the sky, into the distance. But it looks like a moon, and so the moon that
That's
you know,
no moon.
the Selûne moon is still there, and then so there's the Selûne moon, and then there's a moon that's slightly larger than it, in the sky. But they just sit juxtaposed next to each other, and one of those is not a moon at all, but that orb, that powerful mass that Tiamat came out of, there's it's kind of a darker moon, and as slowly but surely daybreak begins to roll on, and even as the day comes, Selûne's moon drifts out of sight as the sun kind of washes the sky, but you can always faintly see the dark moon in the sky, under those clouds.
Oof.
So you all are, I don't know, so this all just happened, like I said, it was 4, so we're gonna actually roll, let me, 4?
Can we go back to the House of Spirits?
It
Oh,
is,
it's down from here.
Yeah, how do we get it down?
It is, I
Oh,
rolled
we
it
can go back through the wardrobe.
It is 8 a.m. in the morning, as you all are awaking, still here in the palace, and you guys can kind of set the scene for me. I will say that Vajra and Lady Silverhands, over the course of the past 3 hours, you've heard them in Lady Silverhand's study, kind of like you can hear them like chatting and talking, and it sounds like they did not miss a beat. They were like tired for a moment and they went to work. They're like kind of been up for the past few hours in her study, doing something. So where they are.
Demetra would probably want to try and be in that conversation if she knows that they're staying up and like battle planning. Demetra would probably feel as exhausted as she is. She would probably feel obligated to at least be in the room and give her 2 cents if they need her 2 cents.
So
or just get caught up on everything.
Yeah, she would. Demetra would have to make a con save to get her short rest. A con save of 18 or higher, or she would be too exhausted.
Let me get a different die. Let me just pick what die do I think wants to hang out with Silverhand and Vajra?
Can I also? I would also like to ask them about that novel that I have.
I do not pass 14.
Okay, so here's what happens: like you're in the room with them, and you're like listening, and then eventually, Demetria just like she keeps like
Demetria comes in. Demetria comes into the room and she kind of like posts up. She like sits like kind of like against the wall. She starts like slowly as they're talking, like taking off like pieces of armor, trying to get comfortable. She's trying to catch up on what's been going on. If they have any questions about how like their experience of fighting Eldricon went, she'll tell them. But like almost as soon as like the chest plate is off, almost as soon as like she's shrugging out of like the chainmail, out of like the male shirt. Almost as soon as all of that weight is gone, she's out like a light. She's just asleep against the wall.
Nice. And as she's sleeping,
mouth open, totally an ugly sleeper too.
Yeah.
She's like
So
snoring, mouth's open.
She doesn't get any of that information that would have been divulged in that room, but she gets a short rest.
Thank you.
And what you also have seen from being on like the balcony, you can see that down below in the city, that the Neverwinter army are camping like outside the city limits, but they are like within the invisible, like Dragon Ward. You all spot the street where your House of Spirits is, Troll Skull Alley, and some of the houses have been like damaged or burned down, but the House of Spirits still stands. You also notice Lenore at some point,
There's my kid. Tell me where
Lenore
my kid is.
wakes up Tempe as the sun kind of like hits her eyes, and she nudges you and she looks to you. Tempe, and she signs saying it's a new day before smiling at you deeply.
I hug her, and I just I sign back. Are you ready for a new day?
Yes, she signs back enthusiastically.
Well, I get enthusiastic too and quite happy. I'm ready.
And then she signs that like it's been she said it's been night for so long for her.
How do you feel now? I sign to her.
Grateful. She signs happy, and she like hugs you.
I hug her back, and then as we break the embrace, I sign no more night.
She just nods like yes, no more, and then she says no more.
Let's eat.
I don't know if they have rations. Otherwise,
We probably have stuff, right? Can we
yeah,
just-
you have your like rations and stuff like
Yeah, we
dried
got-
meats and
yeah.
you know
We eat
nuts
some
and
beef
berries and
jerky.
stuff. Yeah,
Get some
you have
berries.
there in the morning.
I mean, this
Little
guy's
fantasy lunchables, little fantasy lunchables.
yeah. Bo's got to have something, right? He's got to have some weird magic-y food on him. I imagine. I don't know. I feel like
He has
Bo's got
protein powder. He's a barbarian. What do you think he
food,
has?
There,
What do I have?
Bo, that's a good question. Can you give me a D100 roll? There is a 80% chance that she still has it. 1 through.
I love it when Malcolm asks Lex to roll D100s because we know that there's the ongoing war of how to read the D100
So
roll.
and I know, and here's the sad part. I know Malcolm wants lower than 80, but I got an 84.
No. You get a crumb. You get a little crumb.
No,
Round
So-
down.
this is something else.
So what you find is that if anyone was looking for it, maybe Tempe will say here, notices that she has the necklace, but the pendant, the piece that's on it, is gone. It's like it fell off. It's lost. It's not on her neck. Because what was it for Ravi again? What did it look like? It looked like a teardrop. Or
They were like teardrops, effectively. And this
Yeah.
is something that you can use later on if you want, because they're actually technically very powerful
Yep.
artifacts. But the Tears of Salune are now missing from the necklace
Tears of
that
Salune
belonged to
are
Ravi.
not.
Oh shit! Awesome. Man,
Now remember, you guys are in this castle. I heard some people saying, "How do we get off of here?" Well, some of you guys have Featherfall.
Well, we can go
some
back
of you
through
have-
the tower.
You could go back through the tower. That's another option. So there's a couple ways out, and then all the
Which-
city is below you. So if you're trying to explore anywhere in the city, you can do
I-
that. I mean, otherwise, there.
I would like to ask, what's her name? Vajra?
Bajra, yeah.
I would like to ask her if there's anything in the tower that we can use in our quest to stop Tiamat. Because there's like a bunch of magical items in there, right?
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So as you approach Vajra, she says, many of the magical items in the tower were forbidden by the mage before me. His name is I'm missing his name right now at the moment.
Mr. Silverhand.
Yeah, I pull up
yeah,
I pull out the letter like
The smutty love letter.
the
It's not very smutty, but it is very love lettery.
But we are in dark times, and so I will go out on a ledge and say that you've earned the right to take at least something from there that you may find useful. You have to remember that the magic there is great. It dates back to the historical. That tower is a museum. Many of those things never meant to be used again. But I trust you all. without you, there would be no historical reference, and there might not be another. We might not be able to continue our history as we see it. So, yes, take what you need, and what I will ask that you honor that, provided we survive all of this, that you put it back.
Yes, absolutely.
When this is said and done.
Looking directly at Amnon.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
I have no need.
Who?
for-
Us? Not returning powerful items to their rightful owners?
We didn't see no powerful items. What are you talking about? No powerful items here.
This tower was empty when we got here.
The tower was empty and already wrecked by that giant robot falling through 3 floors by the time we got here.
Pretty sure that giant robot was trying to steal stuff.
Probably that's why it took her and
Oh.
Silverhand so long to get to us, was because we wrecked the tower before they got through the...
No,
No, they came
that's
in on
the
the
thing.
dragon.
Only the floor and ceilings got wrecked because he was bouncing off all those wards.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
like a pinball.
how much gold does this group have?
I have 91 gold.
God.
Let me see.
So much of it was
Cheryl-
thrown away.
Cheryl needs to tell everybody how much gold they have.
I only have, well, because you guys are going to be mad at me because I'm one of those people that believes in immersion. I had Demetria give away the bulk of her money to the kids of that guy she killed before we left. So I actually only have 91 gold.
Oh my god, me too, twinsies.
No, fuck you.
Second
What do
double
you
numbers
mean?
in tonight's episode: 27, 27, 91, 91.
Aw,
Machina
no,
has
no,
exactly
no,
0 coinage.
Yeah, you give Magina his 2 coins back.
yeah, I gave it to him ages ago, and I've got a drink token for him
This-
too.
That's how I find it. This has been a heroic camp. In heroic campaigns, I find that gold.
We're kinda broke as shit.
Thing, yeah.
For a second, we could have been making money with the House of Spirits, and then like the city went under military control. And
I
we
mean, yeah,
stopped.
I mean, if we weren't at war, the money we had would be
Yes,
like
would be-
we would be living large right now. But
Yeah.
But
So
someone had to choose to live during wartime.
he has 1,600 gold still.
Dang.
Jeez.
He
Okay.
hasn't spent any of it on it.
Yeah, man, we need toys.
I only have 20 according to D&D Beyond. I don't
Listen,
know.
how much-
I
how
don't
much
know.
did
I'm
y'all
sure-
throw
I'm
away
sure
when
it's
you
much
didn't take
more
it
than
from
that, but
Robbie?
it's all lost.
I know I've given out some, yes, and there's at least some items that are worth gold, some treasures. that
Yeah,
are
Y'all-
bargain.
I've
y'all
gotten-
threw away 1200 gold when you didn't take
Well-
it from Robbie.
We didn't throw it away. We let it accompany him into the afterlife.
Where's he gonna use it there?
I don't know. He's gonna use it to bribe his way past Charon, guardian of the River Lethe. I don't know what the hell Salute is got.
Is it no trouble to Theros?
My
Well,
thing
actually,
is,
I feel like Selene would have some. Well, so apparently Selene has like the staircase that one could use to exit the plane.
what do I
How long
have?
have we been in the city so far? Has it just been one night?
Yeah, all it's been is this all happened, like it ended at 4 and it's 8.
Good grief.
it's
we
only been
haven't had
3
a long
hours.
rest at all.
Mhm.
You guys haven't had a long rest. So if you're gonna
I-
long rest, you got to try to long rest now.
Think
You guys are just more. It's just morning time now. You have had a short rest, but no long
Oh, okay,
rest.
cool. I suggest we long rest.
I would like a long rest.
I would like a long rest. Too.
yeah, because
You
it's
want a
been
long
it's
rest
been like
here?
2 days
I would
since
love a
we came
long
back to the
rest.
city.
We would all really love a long rest.
I would love a long
because-
rest.
Because we already had last time. Our last rest was a short rest, and so I actually have
Yeah.
no hit die left.
All I'm asking is if they're long resting here on the palace or.
I would like to. I would prefer to long rest in the tower,
Okay.
Not the palace.
not the palace.
Or
I'm afraid
not,
of her.
or not their old spot that they saw down below. Just making sure. Palace is fine. So, and Palace is more secure, and so they spend, another 5 hours there, which would take them to about 1:00 in the afternoon. And how do they spend that? Nothing happens. Nothing. They start just kind of. They can already see that down below. Many of the Neverwinter soldiers. You can also see that. Surprisingly, the Xanathar Guild that was a part, and those freedom fighters that fought, pushed some of the soldiers out, are all kind of started a reconstruction efforts, just helping people in the streets and stuff like that, as Waterdeep's in a state of rebuilding. But for 5 hours, they've been resting. If there's anything else you want to add to that, you can. But otherwise, you guys come out of that fully restored.
I do want to ask. I want to at least show the that novel that I have, the one with the flickering text, to the mages and see what their
Oh
thoughts
yeah, the
are.
illusioned one. The illusioned one.
Yes.
Yes. I'll get back to you quickly here. Feel free to keep role playing while I share. I'll share that with you in a moment here.
Because it's for a long rest, you only need to be sleeping for 6 of the 8 hours. So
Yeah.
Demetria will conk out, but then the other 2, Demetria is just going to be kind of quietly isolated, fixing her armor, polishing the Mace of Disruption, just trying to settle herself internally after all this stuff.
Fair enough.
She feels the instinct to pray to Bahamut, but then she also knows that doesn't really do anything right now, so she kind of like pulls back on that a little.
Machina's just standing there staring at the new moon, sword in hand.
That's no moon.
Stab that moon.
Is there kind of like there's like there's the like a command headquarters in the palace with us, right?
So say that again.
Is there like some kind of headquarters that's managing the rebuild of the city and stuff like
Not
that?
within the palace, because you all are really the only people in the palace. There are no real like there are a few commoners who survived who like hid, but everyone in there, it's mostly been cleared, but was mostly cleared of draconic like soldiers. So that's something that is something that's maybe noble to tell Vajra and Lady Silverhand to do, but right now it hasn't been restocked with any. There's no guards walking around the palace. It's just you all.
Yeah.
How much time has passed?
8 hours.
Wait,
So
did
it's
we take a
fully-
long rest?
Long
you
rest,
got a
yeah.
long rest. You got a long rest.
I was just saying, because if you're trying to pull any shenanigans, I get a long rest in 6 hours.
Okay. Like I said, 8 hours long rest.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was like if there was any like headquarters being set up there. Amnon like wants to like help the city in any way because all of a sudden he's really guilty. He has all this gold on. I was kind of wondering if it's be possible for like Amnon to be getting Axel to fly down to the city to see like how it's like being reconstructed and stuff to see if he could maybe use his gold or something.
Wait,
Gold
so-
isn't what's needed right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like actual help in times of crisis, like actual tangible aid, like food, shelter.
Can Amnon are all those weapons that we were talking about close enough for like Amnon to just look through while after he's done resting?
What's he looking through?
All of the equipment that we have
The
a
tower.
tower.
Oh, so
The
well,
museum.
right. So as far as I look right now, you guys are not at the tower yet, but we're going to the tower now.
Well,
You guys
no, I'm trying to see like how far away things are to see what Amnon's doing. That's all.
Got it. So at this moment, I'm seeing everyone's in the palace. To go to the tower, yes, there's simply just going through the wardrobe to go into the tower, and Amnon could be there in a matter of minutes. If I just need to know if that's what Amnon is doing. That's what you're committing to.
Amnon would be interested in inventorying that equipment. That's as far as he could probably go at this point.
Okay.
And
what else is in
Machina
the
would
palace?
accompany him.
Are there any other areas of interest in a palace that's not inside that tower?
Anything that you would think of is from the kitchens to the mini bedrooms to the hold on here.
This is where they were keeping Lenore, right?
Yes.
To begin with. I'm gonna ask Lenore where they were keeping. Can she show me where they kept her?
And in that palace, in that so I've sent you, Bo, what it is, and what it turns out to be is the duplicitous manuscript is what it actually is. So the illusion on it makes it look like a romance novel. And Vajra and Lady Silverhand are very quickly able to identify it for you.
Since this doesn't really do anything for me, I'm gonna give it to Machina.
Okay. Do you want to copy it and transfer it over to share it with Machina for me?
Yes.
I guess. Because I'm
What's
looking
it
at
called?
the duplicitous manuscript.
Found it.
Cool.
So Lenore just shows you that there's near the study, there's a small room where they kept her, which is kind of like, it's not squalor. It's a nice room, but it's very small. And then she kind of points that most of the time she sat on that, she points to the throne that she sat on. And she kind of tries to tell Tempe that like she doesn't remember a lot. Like she remembers that room, she remembers the throne, and she just says she had lots of dreams and it felt like nightmares. Just felt like she wasn't herself.
Tempe says, "Look, because now they're like away from everybody, right? So now he goes, I know the feeling."
Yeah. As Amnon and Machina journey into the tower, they see a number of items, and Vajra follows them, and she's able to wave the black staff. And what she does is she does not open the entire tower. There's certain items she goes, I'm sorry, it's just too powerful. We don't need that. You could use this. And she like drops kind of like the magical force field on sections of those kind of bookshelves around the walls to where you don't get that force shock as you walk around the perimeter, being able to look and grab things. I am going to, because I imagine that I can't list, there's so many things in here. So what I'll do is, why don't you give me either a perception or an investigation check, and based on how much you succeed, I will put out a number of items that draw you, that you kind of like called, like maybe called to you.
Oh yeah, investigation.
Okay.
My investigation landed me.
23.
Excuse me.
23.
Sorry.
And would you get, Amnon?
14.
14. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna go with perception because I didn't realize that was
Fine.
higher.
No.
That'll be a 24. 24.
You rolled already. I'm going to stick with the 23.
I mean, it's the same roll. It's just changing the modifier.
Change the modifier. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. So let me make some. All right.
I need a recorded Sean, please.
God.
What happened?
Don't read the chat, Malcolm. Whatever you do.
Oh man.
And if you do, read it to yourself. Don't put it out there.
Yeah, don't read it out loud. Not during Cough History Month.
The first cough.
Oh fuck. You know what I feel like? I feel like every time we get in these situations,
we get in this situation.
we get in these situations quite a bit, and we never look for the stuff. Like, there's probably some like cool shit here, and Malcolm's like, "Hey, look at this cool shit," and we're all like, "I'm gonna go hang out with this little kid." I'm not shit over here. And we're not
We're like,
looking-
we're gonna go eat breakfast. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
bond
We
as
always wind up
family.
doing some really like domestic shit, and I just wonder if just one time we were like, let's go like find the magic-y
I was
shit.
thinking, like, how many people have we killed whose pockets we haven't searched after?
That's what I'm saying. Like we give no fucks
We're cheap
about
dates.
like,
We're cheap
yeah.
dates. Really,
Yeah,
is the
we are
problem.
cheap dates for sure.
So there is.
Big hurry though.
I'm going to combine
We're
these
always
between,
in a hurry. Yeah, we're always literally in a hurry, and we always have too many other things going on at the same time.
I'm going to
Not
combine.
fun.
So together, like what you all notice, so this is what both Amnon and Machina would see. There's a helmet engraved with arcane symbols. There is a dark robe that is embroidered with silver stars. There is
A ring that looks like a shield.
there
A ring of
is
protection.
an
Look, I've got one
amulet
more.
with an
I've got-
amulet with an emerald stone. Sorry, I'm keep going. There is a ring with a brain-shaped stone.
Mmm.
There is a holster with a teacup, and a bag of tea.
A holster?
I
Like
love
a-
Yes.
tea.
So a little holster on your side that like holds the teacup.
Oh,
And the
that
bag
sounds
of tea.
awesome.
That's a very tempy. Yeah, that's a very tempy
Oh
accessory.
man, that's very suspect.
There's a small
love that.
corked bottle of fine sand
Hmm.
and a glass flask filled with golden liquid. And there are two more.
Oh, jeez. You guys went shopping.
A mall. That resembles a snake,
Ooh.
and then a set of 4 adamantine horseshoes.
Hmm.
Now, these are the things that you're drawn to. I need a charisma check from Amnon and Machina.
Ooh. I was gonna say, Silverhand might be useful for helping us figure out what these things are.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Since she came around here a lot per that letter.
For some reason, I don't know why, but that black robe sounds just right up Amnon's alley.
I rolled a 17, so that'll be 16.
I got a 4.
And a 4. You got a 4?
I
Okay.
got a 4.
24.
Oh, okay.
2, 4. No, 2, 4.
You
So
said-
suddenly, as
I'm
Vajra
drinking too much
brings
vodka.
you here, there is suddenly the Vajra goes. There's like it gets cold in the room, and Vajra seems to like look off like to the side, like she's talking to someone. She goes, "No, I told them it was okay. It should be fine, right? What? I trust them. I trust them with everything in my being. Okay, but listen to me. I'm the Blackstaff. I know you're the original Black. You met them as well. Okay. So based on your roles, between Amnon and Machina, they can only pick 3 items.
Can we shout out to the fact that we're still not trustworthy? Like, can we do a quick shout out? Can we do a quick shout out to how real it is that we're still kind of grungy? Like, we're still kind of. I still remember the way it felt to have our Harper dude be like, "You guys seem like nice people," clearly lying through his teeth.
And what she shares with you is this: that
Can Demetra wear adamantine horseshoes?
That's a good point.
That is
Malcolm, I have
actually-
hooved feet. Can I wear adamantine?
I think you would be able to. You have hoofed feet. Like, yes. That's a
The
yes.
hooves are there. Hacks never
Oh.
change.
And so what you realize
Or the hacks.
During
We all play Hags next campaign.
so what you realize is that she must be talking to Kelvin, and Kelvin is like the original.
Oh, our ghost buddy, yeah, that
Yeah.
we didn't get out of here because.
And so he's only comfortable with so many of these things being, kind of used.
We're
and
basically
moved
his
around.
in-laws. We're
Um,
basically his in-laws at this point.
Yeah, and so 3 items, unless there is something that you're willing to barter or trade and put on the shelves that he considers worth enough to take more. 3 things you get to just borrow on your own or take on your own, but you can take more. If you can, and these are just between these 2 right now. So,
but before they pick, can they try and do an identify at least on like the flask, like the liquids and stuff, like the sand and the gold liquid?
What are they asking? Is Demetria showing up? Is she in the room with them right now?
No, I'm sleeping.
I would like to show up. To show up.
Demetria's conked out. Demetria's got her feet up on a chair somewhere.
I'm
her
showing
hooved
up.
feet.
Or hooked feet.
Yeah. So what are they? I mean, Vaj is nearby too, so they can also talk to her. So
Amnon seems drawn to the robes. I have
yes.
no idea what any of these things are, but I think the vial with golden liquid.
That is a robe of stars.
Ooh.
Yes.
I've heard of the Robe of Stars.
I'm looking at it. I like it.
You're sleeping.
Me, Cheryl, have heard of the Robe of Stars. Demetria is conked out.
You can essentially pull off the stars and cast magic missile with them, toss them and they will become like comets at your enemies.
You said there was an amulet with a sort of stone?
Emerald stone.
Emerald, okay.
Yeah. So if I name
Also
it,
the
you
brain
can. Yeah.
shaped
Also, for the
ring.
sake of time, if I name it, you can look it up. Like
Brain
so,
ring.
the Robo Stars is a wondrous item. The brain ring. The brain ring is where was I looking?
Mind shielding?
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be, but
it is
it's
a
like,
ring of mind shielding.
but we've already kind of, because we already handled the what's it called, dragon, the Elder Brain dragon. Do we think Tiamat's got something like that in the wings still, or have we just been scarred by our interactions with
The mind shielding ring doesn't protect you against psychic damage.
No?
Only from mind greeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Emerald Stone Amulet, that's what I think it is. I think I'm gonna have to go with that.
The Emerald Stone, and let's see.
What's
Is
the
it that
teacup thing?
glorious amulet of health?
Yeah, I really want that teacup.
It's like a game show. I want that teapot.
Tempe and Dimitri are like whispering in Amnon's ear, like, we want that one, we want that. Like kids at the candy store while their parent talks to the guy behind the
Just
counter.
turns this connection off. I'm like, yeah.
Curious about these adamantine horseshoes. What do these do?
They
Put them on your feet.
Thank you, Lohan.
so that stone
Ooh.
it's simply just wearing it or keeping it on you makes you immune to poison. It's a I actually can't even pronounce it. Periapt of proof against poison.
I mean, that's also good.
The horseshoes are
With attacks.
I just found what the teacup is. The teacup holster. It's
What
pretty
is
good.
it?
If you have stuff in a little satchel, and it can make tea for you. A magic teacup holster. So it's a little holster that holds a teacup and a saucer, and the satchel. And if there's like tea leaves or whatever you put in the satchel, turns into a tea. And if you don't have anything in the satchel, it just makes you hot water.
It's just a Keurig. It's just a wearable Keurig.
A wearable Keurig that makes 2 gallons of tea a day.
2 gallons?
That's a lot of tea.
It's like that jug that any liquid you want.
I wish it made booze. What is that?
But does
So-
Tempe wish it made booze?
No, Tempe probably needs some tea.
So the horseshoes are horseshoes of speed. They increase
Ooh.
the walking speed by 30 feet.
Oh,
Could
cool.
make Demetra fast.
I mean, there's 4 of them. You can make her and some other two-legged creature fast.
I mean,
That's
Machina can just
crazy.
add them to
Here's
his
what
feet.
I'm gonna.
Put
I'm
both
gonna
sets
say
on.
I'm gonna make it a combination here because I don't think that I think it's a little broken. What I think they would do is because I think they're made for a 4-horse steed. When you use all 4 together, they do a full extra 30 feet. I think when using 2, they do half. So Demetria would get an extra 15 feet. So
That's still a lot.
Still a lot.
That's still half over again of what her current walking speed
Exactly.
is. That's
Hold on.
crazy. That's not bad, actually. I wouldn't
Put
say
them on
not
your
bad.
hands. Put them on
She
your hands.
just has to wear them. she can turn the other two into horn ornaments.
Earrings, fun little earrings.
That sounds nice.
No, wait, no. She bends them. She makes them into knuckle dusters. She makes them into brass knuckles.
And they're adamantite, so you can definitely punch something.
If you know an artificer, then maybe you can make it work.
You know what? I think I do know at least one artificer, a really talented one too. He kind of made this collar thing for Tiamat. It was really impressive.
As he shoots Eldritch Blast through it.
What's the bottle of fine sand and the gold liquid?
The golden liquid is a potion of luck, very rare. And the sand.
It's a flask of gold liquid and a bottle of fine sand.
Yes, excuse me. A flask of gold liquid and a bottle of sand.
Yeah, sure.
Hey.
Get it right.
Containers matter, haven't you?
I have it in the
science
notes.
class?
I have flask and I have bottle in the notes. I wrote it down as Malcolm described him in the notes.
It is a dust of sneezing and choking.
Not coughing.
So
Wow.
it's just Aleppo pepper.
Oh.
And finally, or almost finally, the helmet. Is this just the god's helmet?
The helmet is a
Like a second one.
The helm is a helmet of teleportation.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
I think Tempe needs that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Or Amnon. So,
No,
robes for Amnon.
Because Amnon's already got fly and all of his and
So-
I
Missy
love
stuff.
the teleport.
I was saying robes for Amnon, helmet for Tempe, horseshoes for Demetra.
I will say
And what
that
is-
teleport helm is pretty powerful.
And as a
Helmet of teleportation.
Because
and as a
Yeah, 3
melee
charges.
fighter.
because you're casting teleport. It's not like you're casting like a Misty Step. You're casting
Yeah.
teleport.
You're casting teleport. Yeah.
I like
you
that.
got it, really.
So that would definitely be needed for the melee-based fighter that can't really. If the enemy goes like 200 feet away, he's just puffing it for half
Yeah.
the combat.
Malcolm,
Hoof
I did
in it.
send you a message on Zoom.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, Demetra has no opinion on any of this.
Helmet, horseshoes, and robes.
What is Machina gonna get then? Because if it's each one of them gets 3, right?
No, 3 total between.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 3 each.
no.
I mean, Machina could wear the other half of the horseshoes.
We just
He put-
swap out his like humanoid robot feet for hooves.
No, he just puts them. He just
A little
attaches them
robot
to the top of
sitter.
the feet. Just welds them on there.
Mhm.
Or he turns them backwards so it's the heel.
Oh,
Smart.
yeah, not a bad idea actually. I
I
love that. Now I have the vision of Demetria and Machina sitting side by side in like pedicure chairs, except where Demetria is getting a real pedicure, Machina is getting something welded onto the bottom of his foot.
I'm gonna send you the thing.
I don't know. What are you thinking, Johan?
I'm trying to catch up in the chat. Hags never change. What's that?
No, don't bother. Don't bother.
Don't bother.
Don't want to know, bro. You don't want to know. It got a little crazy.
Oh man.
I think you're muted, Johan, or you're not loud enough to come across the mic.
Sorry, I'm reading actually.
Oh.
So, Ohan, do you agree with these 3 items?
Which ones did you guys agree on?
Well,
So
it's too long.
the robe of stars for you, the horseshoes to be split between Demetra and Machina,
Yeah.
and then the helmet for Tempe.
My pretty ass.
Yeah.
Gotta protect the hair. Gotta protect the hair.
And what is this snake mall? Just to make sure we're not.
Yeah, that's the
messing
one
up
we didn't
something.
really get yet.
Yeah.
All right, my wife was out there walking the dog, so I was giving her the double middle finger out there. I could see her. Out.
Mother of your children. 1 middle finger for each child.
Yeah.
Circus
true
Mall is.
I liked your I loved your Instagram story of you fighting Carmelo with your lightsaber.
Oh yeah, I got a block from the little one. The little one, man, she hit you in the nuts too much.
She was so cute with the little red lightsaber. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
baby Sith.
She's really a baby Sith too, man. She fucking.
Sean, I love your family.
They're
Y'all are so great.
We have a lot of fun over here, man. You know?
I'm not a kids person. I make exception for your kids.
Yeah, they're good kids, man. They're not like the raggedy kids like a lot of people got.
I'm like the ranking. Sean's kids, everyone else's kids.
Everyone else
So
is,
this is a magic
Sean's
ball
kids,
that's
Ohan's kids,
three
everyone.
Yeah.
charges.
Emery.
Basically, after you hit something with it, they make a save, a wisdom save of 15, or they get polymorphed into a constrictor snake.
That's so
Oh.
funny. That's so funny.
what?
Hashtag gets snaked.
Snake.
Unfortunately,
That is-
Maul is a one-handed weapon, so Machna would have no interest in that.
That is a question I did want to ask, because Malcolm, I know I talked to you in chat today about
Mhm.
making an edit to my Mace of Disruption. Do you want, like, later in roleplay day today, will I be able to find someone to make that edit for me, or?
Yeah. I
I know I'm sleeping right now, so that can wait.
Yeah, that can wait, but yes, that you can. That can be.
Okay, cool.
Does Demetra snore, or do you make the little me sounds?
Oh no, she snores. She snores like a 45-year-old man. She
You have sleep apnea.
I have.
probably also no. Demetra, she doesn't snore how this.
Listen,
Demetra doesn't snore.
I can't sleep on my back because I literally wake up in the middle of the night like not being able to breathe.
No,
I
no,
have
she
sleep
doesn't
apnea.
snore. But if she's having a really vivid dream, the fucking goat legs, the hooved feet kick. So you can't be within like a good 5 feet of her when she sleeps.
That's just real. Like, short story. I used to go for like. I've been in my company for 8 years. For the first 3.5, 4 years, and even before that, when I went to work, I was always tired and never understood why. Like, I would fall asleep in every meeting, and I just thought it was because they were boring. I could never focus on my work. I was like going in and out, like sitting at my desk. And I found out I had sleep apnea. People always tell me I snored, and they were like, "No, bro, you snore. Like you are fighting a dragon and
Like
you
an
sleep."
outboard motor.
You've never woken up just being like not being able to breathe in the
I
middle of the
have,
night.
and I just thought
Yeah,
that was just bad snoring. It was
No,
like-
it's terrifying.
It is
It's truly
terrifying.
so
You
scary.
you because people were like, "Bro, you do this thing." They were like, "You were snoring, and then you stop, and then you like cough and like and like."
Because you wake
and,
up in like a jolt, you're like,
And see, here's the thing: I wouldn't even necessarily always wake up. So people were telling me, "Bro, you're like gagging and dying in your sleep." I don't know whether they'll like throw a pillow at you or wake you up. And so, sure enough,
You know
I had
when
to
you
get one of those
when you
smoke
overhear people
machines.
talk about their problems and you're like, I actually got it pretty good. Like I
Nah,
actually
you-
got
yeah,
pretty
you-
good right now.
I wear that little
I
shit on my
sleep,
nose
I
at night,
curl
but I
up in like
sleep
a
like
pretzel
a baby
shape every
now.
night.
I
and I
wake
sleep
up
like a
like
baby.
no,
I
yeah,
was-
I have to
off the
sleep on my
strips,
side.
dude?
If I sleep on my back, I my whatever the little part in my throat
it
collapses
closes
and
up,
I can't
it
breathe. Yeah.
collapses when you relax. That's what happens.
How
when
to
you-
kill
and I love
Lex.
sleeping on my back.
Roll
so-
him over onto his back.
Only if I have like a back pillow
That
that I
should
sleep
kill
on,
you too if you.
That keeps me
Yeah,
straight.
Cheryl's gonna try to kill me.
The same shit happens.
I was
I'm
so
gonna
they
get
did my
people to
ratings. And they
so.
said I was per minute. I stopped breathing a certain so many times in. It was like 60 seconds, but I stopped like over 100 times in 60 seconds. So I was
Yeah,
never
what
getting
the
it.
fuck?
So I was just like constantly stopped. Like my patterns were like so off. They were like, you could have a stroke while you're sleeping because like it's throwing all your rhythms off. Like it's throwing you're never getting the REM sleep where your body's repairing.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have to wear the little strap on your
I wore
chest.
the little strap for a while when I could
Yeah.
get the tests and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I just have like this little machine. It used to remember when they first had me. They gave me this big machine. I was like, I'm never wearing that. And then it got so bad. I was like, bro, I gotta do something. I gotta wear this thing. I gotta try. And I did the little mouth guard that was supposed to help me. I hated that thing. And so now I just put my little it's like a little slip around slip it on my head at night. It just kind of like and now the machines don't cram air down your throat. They just kind of like it goes in the pattern of your breathing. So when I'm breathing out, it stops, and then when I breathe in, it like gives me air, and that air keeps the airways open. I
Mhm.
look like a baby now. I look crazy, but I used to look like Darth Vader. I used to look like I was in a Top Gun fighter. Now it's
Yeah.
just like a little,
You got like the whole.
Yeah.
over
For
the
those of
mouth
you at
sounds.
home,
I couldn't stand it.
go
That
find out
made
if
me
you have
feel
sleep apnea.
claustrophobic when I had like the Top Gun mask. That shit was too much. They've gotten better.
Mhm.
Yeah, this shit's crazy. So
At least
It's
they're not
actually
doing that.
they tell you like when you go in, they're like, if you have to put it on a machine, make sure you put it on right, because otherwise you'll choke yourself in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
bar.
Those have got,
because
like,
you have
those have got,
to-
like real problems.
So
I
you
could never.
put it, you have to put it into your nostrils, around your ears, and then through the front. Because if you put it on wrong, if it falls out like in the middle of the night, you could literally like choke yourself.
Yeah, well now the one I have is like, it doesn't even go around. It just goes over the top, and it doesn't go in your. It doesn't have like any like. It just like lays right under your nose.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
And, yeah, mine just lays right on my nose and connects, and there's no, it doesn't make any noise. My wife doesn't hear it, so it's good.
I'm just
But now
imagining Malcolm. I'm
Emery
imagining
was-
Malcolm in like the cryo sleep pods from Alien. Honestly,
I
I'm
feel like
imagining
I'm in that sometimes.
you-
And Emery wakes up, and so there's this hose on the top of your head, like that's connected to the machine. And so she's been laying in the bed lately. So she'll wake up and crawl over.
He's like, what's
and
that,
just
bro?
Squeezing
And
it.
she grabs it and she squeezes. She cuts off like she's literally cutting off my ear.
That's so
And trying,
good.
and
That's
trying
so
to
funny.
break it.
Emery speed running
Bro,
patricide. Like
She's been waking up because she in the halfway through the night she starts like constantly waking up. So we've been bringing her into the bed and make space.
Yeah.
And so now she like wakes up and beelines for like the edge of the bed. So we
Yeah.
have like superhero, like we have spidey senses. Like my wife and I, it's like you wake up and she's like she's crawling towards the edge of the bed just to dive off and bust her ass.
I
and
love
you have to
little
like
babies
catch them.
crawling though. I love the way they crawl, the like
So
super
we have, like,
serious
pillows
way
around
they
her
like
bed 'cause
attack
she's
it.
constantly trying to. I've lowered her bed all the way down to the bottom. She can still wake up and pull herself up and be like standing and like literally muscling her way
Oh.
over the edge. And you're like, do you not realize this is not? You can't.
Bro,
You're like
we
trying to
got-
explain to her, you're like, your head is so
She
soft
doesn't
and
get
there's
it. She
all this
doesn't get it.
distance.
No.
Good luck, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's why.
We got the
She's
little one in
grabbing
the bed
wires
now.
and it's like
Dude,
like a
they're
dungeon
crazy,
master,
bro.
and you really feel like when they're early on and they don't understand the game, it's like being a dad is kind of like you're gonna kill yourself, and like you're trying to like keep her alive. She's like, I'm gonna go over here and pull this wire. I'm gonna go over here. And
What's
dive
that
down
one
this-
baby from like Looney Tunes or whatever that's always getting into
Oh
shit?
yeah,
With the
yeah,
cigar
Baby
in its
Herman,
mouth?
Baby Herman.
Yeah.
Why do I know that?
It's
Anyways.
insane. But yeah, sorry, I didn't
Well,
mean
no,
to
there
go
was
down.
there was a video game. There was like a Steam game where it was like one player would play as the dad and then would play as the baby, and the baby's job was to try and find some outlet to stick their fingers in, and the dad's job would be to run around and try and block the baby.
Isn't that funny that there's games that are like that's fun, but then it's like there's other people like doing that for real life. I'm like, you made a game and you thought that was fun.
You made a game about that shit?
Or like,
that shit is
well,
my
thinking
life.
back, right? My dad is like 6'4", 6'5". My dad would carry me on his shoulders. Like all of my earliest memories are me sitting on my dad's shoulders, and I'm like, Mike, if I had fallen off your
Oh, yeah.
shoulders, I would.
I think about it. Like you really do think like it is really strange. You pick up this little person and you're like, if I fuck up right now, it's like over. Like there are no
the
mistakes.
distance between my dad's shoulders
There are
and
no
the
mistakes.
cement was immense.
And the amount of times you get good at just like reaching out and catching a head, a neck. I'm sure you know, Sean, like how many times she's like jumped off of something. I'm just like, boom, got you. Like,
Oh, the big one, no, Carmella never. She was like super chill, super calm. This little one is a no limit soldier, bro. She don't give no fucks. As a matter of fact, she gives so many. She doesn't give a fuck so much that like we literally have to watch her because like I have this table that I'm sitting at right now, and she'll come in and bash her head into it and not even make a sound. She'll just be like, cool, and I'm just like, bro, you
dang,
definitely have.
okay, she's
You
yeah.
definitely have a concussion. Shit is crazy. Like it's hard enough to where everything on this table, like
Yeah.
you know what I
She
mean.
staggered back the other day and did one of those and went back in slow motion, Zack Snyder style, and busted her head. And I look at her and I go, "You're okay." I try to act like nothing happened because
Yeah.
it's like as long as you don't react as a
If
parent,
you don't react, they don't react. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That's
if
why I
you
don't do it.
show
That's why I don't
concern,
react. If you show
they
concern,
lose
it's like
it.
they
stresses
lose
them
it.
out,
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I'm
Well,
dying.
that's because my mom once tried to scare the hiccups out of me by like looking at me going like super concerned. All she had to do was just make her face super concerned, and it scared the hiccups out of me. But then I started crying because I took it so serious.
Oh,
I always have to be super stoic because I never react to anything.
And then they were like, "Oh, it's cool."
If things really get hurt, and I go, ooh, they go, oh shit, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
if Dad's reacting to
or
this.
reacting to it, it's bad.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Lenore crawling around.
I sent you the thing.
Okay, yeah. Let me see.
I know I've said this like every time we've played for the past like 3 games, but I love playing D&D with you guys. This is so fun.
You
Ah,
too.
Cheryl's drunk.
I know.
Love you too, Cheryl. We love playing D&D with you.
I deserve this. I've earned this. My week has been horrible.
Yeah, you should pour another one. It's good for you.
Shout out to my dad. Comment down
Shout out,
below.
Man,
To him.
Shout out to my roommate, actually. My roommate's been fantastic. For real, shout out to my roommate. She's been amazing this past week. Apparently, I'm the one who's like stable in the house because when I start freaking out, she's like, this is horrible. Nothing can. I need to help you. What do you need? Do you need anything? She'll like check on me like every hour. Like, do you need anything? Do you need more water? Do you need a snack?
Oh,
That's
So she's
good.
she's like texting me right now. She's like at the store. She's like asking me if I need anything. She's like, do you need strawberries? Do you need ice cream?
and you're saying yes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Shout out Paulina.
I have a feeling this episode's going
Paulina?
Yes, but
Paulina, my roommate Paulina.
I like that name.
shout out to Paulina.
Shout out to Paulina.
Comment down below if you like Paulina.
Shout
When you start
comment down below. Heart Paulina.
Paulina, give us a like. Can you make a
Hashtag
comment?
heart.
Come on, Paulina, get on the episode.
This episode brought to you by Paulina. I'll send her this. I will send her this. I'll what do they call it on YouTube where you snippet something?
Absolutely.
I have the snippet. Remember when we were in hell and we started air guitaring or air drumming when we were like fighting all those monsters? I have that snippeted on my account.
Nice.
Sean wasn't there, unfortunately. Sorry, Sean.
Oh, that's all right. I wish we could have got Lex and Ohan going. We don't see Jameson, but when we were
Hello?
doing a little head thing, that would have been so good.
Yeah.
I
just
noticed
had to
it when you
record
guys stopped, and I was like, all right, I guess
It
I'm
was
not
good.
I saw you
invited.
smile. Yeah, I saw you smile when you
To get in
noticed.
sync.
Fuck me, I guess.
It was hard to get in sync because I'm actually lagging a little bit, so I was like having to time it. Like, okay, I need to move a second before I think I need to move.
It was good though, but once we got in sync, it was good. It was money. I liked it.
Take our word for it. Loyal subscribers, take our word for it. It was really cool before we started recording.
Oh,
when me
that
and
was
Sean
before
were
we started
synced up.
recording too, right? Oh, I can't.
I think it was like literally right before.
Like literally right before.
debating on a drink. Are we gonna take a bathroom break?
We are soon. I'm trying to get us to that. So
Yeah.
before I do that, are we still deciding on our weapons and stuff like that? That's or if we need more time?
I'm
Let's
good.
let
I got
Sean
what I
watch.
wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with the robe.
I think I'm getting a helmet.
Yeah, I'm good with
Helmet or
the shoes.
I'm adding it to my character sheet.
Confirmation from Malcolm though that Machina can use the other two horseshoes if we weld them onto his feet.
Even if you
Um,
can't, that's fine.
As you all are picking, and Vaj was kind of watching you all take things and like kind of secretly talking to the spirit of the previous Black Staff, Lady Lenore kind of comes in and goes, when you all are ready, we need to talk. Killjourn's upstairs, and we'll take
Ah.
a 5-minute
Children!
break.
Shit. Okay, Demetria's awake. Demetria's belting her
And
shit
I'm
on.
purple really fast.
Demetria's gargling mouthwash.
Awesome. So yeah, bathroom breaks, drink refills. We'll get back to it.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you for this. Hello. You're muted.
Hi.
Hello. Oh,
Oh, D&D.
I'm so excited. Like, I know we're still playing this campaign, but I'm so excited to see what happens with the next one with our characters.
And it feels like we're getting, I was gonna say, like, it feels like we're getting into the end game in, like, a really real way.
Mhm.
Like, remember when we were, like, finishing up the Plane of Fire with the last campaign where it felt like, oh, we're getting to the point where the game's gonna be over. Like, we were...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it feels like that. There's, like, this kind of bitter sweetness that
Mhm.
is... I can kind of see the end on the horizon, which is interesting. Enjoyable, but interesting. And it makes me excited for what's coming next. You know?
I'm happy with how this game has progressed.
Right? Like, it's... I was looking back in our notes, our notes. Our notes that I take.
Our notes.
I was looking back at the notes for Storm King's Thunder, and yeah, this is been such a different campaign, but it's been really good in a way that I think last game, because I think last campaign was shorter, wasn't it?
I think because last campaign, from what my understanding was, because I didn't play the whole thing, but it was about a year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one is already twice the length.
Yeah. So it feels different in a way where there's like a more, I don't want to say like it's more mature, but it definitely feels like we have way more experience playing together under our belt. You know?
Right. And I feel like, well, because last campaign, it was kind of, it was still people coming in and out. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. At
So-
least for the first part, the first half of last campaign was very like module like we
Right.
had our cities we had to hit, we had like, you know, stuff that was dictated outside of us. But here it feels like we've been kind of dictating what stuff
'cause
happened.
I joined essentially when that campaign went off the rails.
Yeah.
Because
The session.
with Sean going and deciding to go to the planet Air instead of following. So
Yeah, I was looking at my notes. I have the notes for
No
the session
regrets.
where we realized that Quinn's mom, Sean's character Quinn, his mom was the Golden Lady because she'd helped us out like for a couple
Yeah.
of months at that point.
Mm.
Then we realized it was her. So that was interesting.
I do miss keeping a journal for my character. I feel like that was a great way to get into their
It's also
headspace.
I'm also officially past the halfway point for my notes notebook,
Ooh.
which is kind of crazy because I intended I only take Dungeons and Dragons notes in here,
Mm.
including Alien and including Kids on Bikes, our
Mhm.
first couple of Kids on Bikes things I have in
Aw.
here. And Storm King's Thunder, I have like at least the back half of that campaign in here because
Uh-huh.
I think the first half of that campaign I wasn't taking regular notes or I wasn't using this notebook.
Uh-huh.
But it's crazy to think that eventually, probably at least by next campaign, like the end of next campaign, I'll definitely be through this notebook. Like
Yeah.
over half is taken up in my purely Dungeons and Dragons notebook of
Mhm.
Storm Kings, Aliens, all the different Alien campaigns, and Kids on Bikes.
Do you take your Strahd campaign notes? in
I
there
do.
too?
I do.
Okay.
Wait, Lex, did you say this one was twice as long as the last one though?
Mm-hmm. That's what my understanding is. I didn't
Because we've
play
already had
the last one.
we've had 2 seasons of this game.
Yeah,
I thought we
because
were
it
on, like,
was because
season
remember last May when not this previous May but the one before that when I had COVID, that was when we were doing the Castellanters, their party and all of the Castellanter stuff was, and that was already so much time into the campaign.
Yeah.
You know, had we already been in prison at that point? We hadn't already been in prison at that point, but
It's basically because the first part of this campaign was the Waterdeep Dragon heist,
Yeah.
and then the second part was
And then
actually
we left.
Tiamat.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. We did
So-
the dragon heist for about 6 months.
yeah.
Doesn't feel that long.
yeah, I was gonna say in a
doesn't,
very
it doesn't.
Cheryl has been drinking very very sentimental way this past year because I have a friend who's coming to visit at the end of the month and they visited me last year around the same time or at least by like the end of May and like this last year's been pretty tough. You know, a lot of stuff has happened this last year for like me personally, but this game has been really nice. This like whole year that we've been playing, it's been really nice. It's been a nice break.
Daryl loves us.
Yeah.
I appreciate you from my wizened, blackened heart. I appreciate you 5 men in particular. And also Travis and Brittany who aren't here right now.
Yeah, shout out to them. They had a baby, bro.
I
I know.
was talking to
No.
I was giving him the play-by-play because we've been talking about like I've just been kind of chatting with him a little bit about just having a baby and having a daughter, and then also about like how he was so scared to like play that character wrong and like make you all be mad at him. So I was like, they loved
Could
you.
never.
They loved on you at the end.
Could
I
never
didn't
be
Tell
mad
him
at
that I'm
him.
mad at you for killing him off. Tell him that.
I know, tell
him
that
that,
I
yeah.
wanted to save you. Tell him that I tried.
Yeah. Tell him that Robbie came to pick him up.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell him that I told him he met his end, but I said I tried to give him an ending that was, that would be worthy
You
of his
tell him Robbie came to pick him up.
Ravi came in the little Selune minivan to
Yeah.
take him to hockey practice.
His little Volkswagen.
Love
I mean,
it.
because also it's weird to think, because I was thinking before this game that, and I was also talking just now with Lex about how this feels like Endgame. Like it feels like we've hit Act 3 of like this campaign.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
Where I think losing Eldricon is actually kind of a big moment, slowly becoming a big moment for Demetra, where she's realizing like you can't save everyone. She couldn't save Ravi. She couldn't save Eldricon. And it's
Maybe not in like a physical like life in like
Yes, a life
you
and
not the
definitely
yeah, it's
You definitely
It's
saved
definitely-
Eldricon's soul.
Yeah.
yeah you
Yeah,
definitely
it's-
and you gave Robbie what he was looking for. Like he wanted a place to belong
Yeah.
and you gave him that.
yeah, it's like Demetria's realization. I feel like Demetria's arc has been a series of realizations of what she hopes and idealizes her role to be isn't achievable, but that's okay. Like
Yeah.
her thing is constantly building like the Paladin of Bahamut role up, and then realizing that she'll never be able to reach that, but that's okay. Like that feels like that's been
Yeah.
Demetria's constant arc here, has been
Yeah.
this.
But I think that's kind of the beauty of it, because she might not feel that way, but that's exactly what she's been doing this
She's
entire
been
time.
doing,
Yeah,
and that's the
yeah.
part that she doesn't.
That,
she
that
was-
kind of
She
She's
realized-
Luke Skywalker to Eldricon's
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
it's kind of that thing of like at the end of Everything Everywhere All at Once, where you're kind of like everyone has
You
a
know,
different way to be.
you're gonna be mad at
saved.
me, Lex. I've still never seen it.
I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm
Yes, you
gonna
know
go
what?
down there.
Guess who else is mad at you? Malcolm. Your DM.
It's so good,
just
Cheryl.
texted
You're
me.
gonna love
Oh, no.
it.
Malcolm, if you make that the next movie night at your big projector,
We
I
should
will
do
be
that.
there.
We
Honestly,
should.
let's-
I fucking love that
That's the
movie.
thing.
I
That's
will-
the thing. I know
Listen,
it's streaming
Lex,
right
you
now.
can
It's
come, you can
streaming
drive
right now
out here
somewhere.
and sleep on the couch.
I'll do it. I'll do
Let's
it.
go.
man.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Never seen it.
I know.
Kim.
It's the fact that I know that it's such a good movie that I know I need to watch it in like the right mindset, in like
Yeah,
the
I
perfect
get that. I know
setup.
how that goes.
Like I can't be interrupted. I need to have like a dinner spread, ready.
Yeah.
I need to be.
Oh my god, Cheryl, we'll pick up some a charcuterie board from the charcuterie board place that I know. It's so good. So good.
Yes.
All
All right. Plans. Plans have been made
All
to
right.
celebrate the end of this campaign. We will have an everywhere all at once.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Mhm.
Party at Malcolm's place.
I'm so ready. I'm gonna bring bagels.
Malcolm's place.
At Malcolm's place. I mean, hey, I'm up 4 flights of stairs. You guys can come over if you want, but you don't want to.
Oh yeah, aren't you in the building with no like elevator? It's just
Yeah,
like,
I'm at the. I'm still here in grad housing. I'm here. I was talking on the phone with my dad the other day, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, you can't believe they have me out here with like rubber baseboards because they don't trust us. I'm in the dorm situation. Rubber baseboards.
That's wow. That's crazy.
I've got hospital
funny.
carpet. Like,
That's so funny.
That's
wild.
dude. Wow. I love
So, as we come back, and they're they don't have to like short their time grabbing their things, but Lady Silverhands has shared that upstairs in her study, the Kildren has come to speak with you all.
yeah.
Before we meet with Kildren, can I just describe what happens to Bo?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a section that they've cleared that they're allowing people to pull artifacts from, right? He goes to a completely different section on a completely different floor, and at this point he's very weary of that force field, but he goes up and he touches it with his like glaive to see if it's still there.
He doesn't want to lose his eyebrows. Like,
Exactly. So he touches it with the thing, and it like blasts him back again. If you want to make him take damage, I'll happily roll. I'll happily take
It's
it.
fine.
But he sees that he like ricochets, and his glaive actually glows like that, like kind of like as if light were hitting the amethyst crystals that are on it, and they kind of shimmer. And he doesn't know it yet, but his glaive. Well, I guess he would know it because he's attuned to it, but it has awakened.
Ooh.
And I don't know if it has a consciousness. I don't know. That's up to Malcolm to decide. But
Lex
it has...
and his talking objects. Lex and
Let me
his talking
have-
objects this campaign.
Let me have things that speak.
Like the
But
Stone of
it-
Galore's brother. The Stone of Galore.
The Stone of Pelor. But yeah, it has awoken, and it now does an area of effects thing that it can do once per day.
Okay.
Nice.
First things first, you're gonna have to tell me later how you convinced Malcolm to let you have this.
I said, "Can I have this?" And he said, "Yes."
It's because Malcolm was convinced it was gonna get eaten by the little rust monsters.
No, I literally asked him for it right now, and he said yes.
I don't know why I did, but you know, yeah, feeling generous tonight.
I will put.
Malcolm also knows we're in the end game. Malcolm's like, whatever I give them now, they're only gonna
Well,
have it for a little while.
I asked for this instead of getting something else. I will put the what it does in the.
I was
in the
thinking
chat.
when me and Lex have been thinking up our different characters for the next campaign, I was looking at like the level 1 shit, and I'm like, Malcolm would never do this to me. He can't do this to me. Level 1.
Yeah, can we start at level 4 with the next campaign?
Dude, that level 1 shit is
If-
rough.
If we're gonna start in
Here's the-
edition,
Here's the reason
let's-
why. Let me explain the reason why, because I will explain to you the reason for my character why 4th level is important. Because my character will have been the knight pulled from the deck of many things by the mother of Cheryl's character.
Okay, I like it. Listen, it might be level 4 or it might be a new system with this world masked over. We'll see.
Okay, as long as we're not starting.
But
at
it won't be
rock
level.
bottom
It won't
of
be
the
level
new
1
system.
here. Yeah,
Okay.
it won't be.
You should give Malcolm a new system game just so he can get it out of his system. Then we can come back to this.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like, what if I just take D&D and adjust it slightly for what I want?
That's well. I mean, I think that's what I think. After a while, it works for a long time, and then you start.
Mhm.
Maybe you won't. Actually, I would say that's because I have another game. One of my other players in my other game is starting to feel the same thing, and it's funny because he started DMing maybe less than a year ago, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Malcolm, I get it." He's like, on the DM side, I get why you're ready. I was like, "Yeah, you see, he was
There's
the one that's
like-
always arguing
Well,
against
'cause
it. He's always like, no." We
The
don't need
reason,
another
like,
system.
I want to adjust the way that the characters level, like for this, like kids on bikes meets
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons things. I want to adjust how they level up because I want it to be more based on how these characters are coming into their own
Yeah.
as they progress in the game, instead of being like, oh, you know, at level 4 you take a feat, you take
Yeah.
this or you take whatever. So I wanted to feel a little more organic.
Imagine leveling a skill when you've used it in the game and you've scored a critical success or a critical failure on it.
Mhm.
You
Mm.
level in it because you actually use that skill. When you're
Mhm.
using your longsword and you score a critical failure on it, you learn something about yourself, and that gives you the
Mhm.
opportunity to level that skill up. That's the way Dragonbane works. It's really cool, right? And so
That's
When
kind
you're-
of what I'm gonna do with this kids
Yeah.
meets dragons bullshit.
Stop trying to
them-
convince me of stuff when I'm drinking.
And then,
Where-
so like at the end of every game, you go, DM, I did. These are all the things that I tried this game, my perception, and then you roll for all those things to see if they increase, to see if they go up just a little bit.
I
more
will
each
say
game.
that's another thing in that podcast of Worlds Beyond Number.
Mhm.
They do a prelude campaign, like a campaign 0, right? Where like they'll roll for their final stats of what they're going to grow into as adults
Yes.
based on the actions that they take
Yes.
as children in the summer that they're experiencing.
So if you don't use magic, let's say you want to be a druid in this game, you could be a hunter. You can't start with any magic, but at some point, if you keep increasing your wisdom, you'll unlock the ability to. You'll be like, oh shit, I'm attuned, but I gotta learn this from someone. So then you either seek out a druid to learn your powers from, or you seek out a mage and you learn a school of magic, right? Like properly.
Okay.
with a, you know, and so then you start to, and then you bring on that magic. It kind of feels intuitive to me in the way that I think like it feels like it connects with the way you role play the character. But yeah, I won't try to keep selling you on it. But you know,
I'm down to give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'll absolutely give it a shot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so far I'm like, damn, this is pretty cool.
All right, Kildren.
And then, and all feats and heroic abilities are just essentially like when you level up a skill enough, you can like add on a new heroic ability, right? So then you start to you can kind of like build a character based on what you want and not really on a class. You do start with a profession, but it doesn't mean you can't go off and learn things that would be from another profession by like leveling it up in certain ways. So yeah. Okay. Back to where we're at. Sorry,
Kildren.
You were gonna say Kildren? Yes. So
Kildren's here. Thank God. I think.
So when they get upstairs, they're in the kind of this grand, study that is Lady Silverhand's, and Kildren is kind of sitting there, and you notice that he looks at you all like clearly happy to see you, and gets up and does the greetings, hugging and collapsing arms with you, but his shoulders are kind of slumped in that he looks defeated. He doesn't look grand. He's not giving off that like radiant aura of like a godlike or a celestial being. Though he is an intimidating and a very massive, presence in the room. He's no joke. He's still very much Kildren, but something's different.
Demetria would immediately, once they do their bro handshake, which I guess they have now. In the back of her head, she's thinking, "Are you still my PO? Are we past that?" But she'll immediately ask him, "What's the matter, man? Are you okay? What's going on?"
I don't want to burden you with all my problems.
Too late, man.
I failed you all. I left to try to help. He's coined your terminology at this point, Big B. But he slumps down in a chair as Vajra and Lady Silverhands kind of listen intently. She's taken Mount Celestia. She's taken the home of our god.
Yeah, I don't know how much Silverhand and Vajra have told you, but Demetria will tell him about the metallic Tiamat form that we saw, and
yes, I have seen her in this form. A sight to behold. I did not think such a thing was possible. And he kind of his eyes water up, no tears for Dragonborn, but he's like, she killed him. He literally does not exist there.
Now, Kildren, listen, it's a little more complicated than that. And, for a long time now, I've been looking to you for guidance, so I don't enjoy this, but there's some updates on the situation I think you should know. And Demetria will tell him about meeting with what's his name? The crazy wizard guy.
Fizban.
She's not gonna call him the crazy wizard guy, but telling him about Fizban, telling him about Lenore, telling him about these aspects of Bahamut that have been split, all these falling stars from way back when that maybe he remembers us chasing after.
I'm curious as to if Lenore hears this.
Yeah, is Lenore
do you explain all that? Does Tempe?
I wouldn't. Demetria wouldn't.
Are you? Yeah, I imagine she didn't say.
Demetria wouldn't want to explain that if Lenore was there. Demetria would want to, if Lenore was there, she would want to take Kildren aside and tell him this privately, because Demetria still very much thinks that Lenore at least is in the mindset of a child, and it's not fair to a child to make them aware of something like this. So she would try and at least make this an adults-only conversation if she can.
Okay, so
I think she is an adult. I think she's old enough to hear the truth.
She's 9.
So they're like, are they kind of in the same room and her standing by Tempe, or
Probably Demetra would at least
Paint the
kind of
picture for
judge
me.
Kildren aside. I don't know if Tempe would be okay
Yeah.
with Lenore listening in, but I think
well,
Demetra
she
would
could also just
definitely-
explain it without explaining that Lenore's. She could explain the 5.
Well, no,
parts,
because
or-
I actually
or
think
she-
because remember how last time we had this whole thing with Kildren knowing that Lenore was dangerous? I think it actually would be
Yes,
important
it
to
would
tell
be.
Kildren that Lenore is an aspect of Bahamut. I think for Lenore's protection, Demetra would want to make sure that Kildren knows that.
Kildren
Yeah,
looks
after all the
over
shit
like,
he gave Ravi.
Yeah.
Kildren
All the
looks
shit
like
he gave
he's
my
gonna-
dead son.
Are you gonna? But Kildren looks at Tempe like you're gonna walk away with Lenore or send her away because he looks like he's about to talk. Like,
I look at Lenore and what does she look like?
Inside check
Um,
on Lenore.
Yeah, inside check Lenore.
I don't think Demetra is explained enough, but she seems to be content
Okay.
with everything that she's heard so far. She's not shaken.
Then I'm gonna put my arm on her, and then, as if like to tell them to keep going.
So what you're telling me is that when she killed my Bahamut, he split into 5 other people, fell to the earth, then they were all rounded and captured, including this little girl.
Well, I don't think, at least so far as I understand it, not all of them were captured. Fizbin, at least we sent Fizbin off with some people, so he should be meeting up with some Neverwinter forces outside the city now.
Okay. And now,
I look at it this way.
and so she has taken his power of many of them, clearly enough to be this version of that she is,
she
but
hasn't.
they still remain.
Children,
What does this mean?
think of it this way. And Demetra's kind of at least a little taken aback that she's the one dictating shit to Kildren. But
Mhm.
again, we're in the end game now. Demetra is the one telling things to Kildren. But look, think of it this way. She didn't take Bahamut's power. She is Bahamut's power. Right? The Bahamut that you knew included the part of him that, when separated from the rest, is Lenore. And, right, so long as we're able to keep her and the rest of them safe, that's protecting Bigby for later when we've handled all of this.
Well,
When-
Kildren kind of like scratches his head and collapses down to the chair as Lady Silverhand comes and says, "Can I talk to you for a moment, Demetra?"
Sure,
And
yeah.
kind of steps into the corner, like being very quiet, and goes,
Demetra's like,
"You do understand from the studies that Vajra and I are all having? I don't want to alarm anyone, but Tiamat is... She is, taunting us. You see, she left. The fact that she left this child alive and took the others... If you say that this Fizbin is still alive, that is good. But don't you see, it seems that she's putting the power in your hands. She knows what we know is that when these physical forms, these avatars perish, she knows we can bring Bahamut back. She's testing us to see if we have the heart to do it. She knows you won't sacrifice the child. And so if that's the case, it leaves us to do it without Bahamut. Are you and your group prepared to do that?"
Demetra's gonna look over to the party, and especially Tempe, sort of probably, kneeling down, talking through sign language to Lenore, and she's gonna look to Silverhands. And I think Silverhands, right, she hasn't known Demetra for a while, but
Yeah.
between meeting her before Hell, going through Hell with her, and all of the stuff afterwards, I think Silverhands can recognize that something in Demetria has shifted from this constant kind of uncertainty into this kind of assurity in herself and in her friends, that Demetria is done playing around and she's done second guessing herself. And she looks at Silverhands and says, Well, that's going to be Tiamat's mistake to make at the end of the day, underestimating what we're willing to do in order to keep innocent people like Lenore safe.
She listens to you. You can tell in her face she knows what you're saying is the right answer. You can tell there's a part of her that doesn't want to hear it. It's not the practical answer. She closes her eyes and shakes her head. Kildren says, that moon out there is no moon, as I'm sure you all know. It is a persistent portal to her world. Well, it's a portal to Celestia. At this point, I know from what I saw, I lost Vic. She's taken control of the other solars, of the other planers, the celestial bodies that worked for Bahamut. They are all under her control. All but me. All but I. All because I did something unspeakable.
What did you do?
I turned my back on Bahamut. I denounced his name. I felt the dark powers washing over me. I felt her voice in my head. It sounded like him, but I knew it wasn't him, and I knew it was taking me. And so, I denounced his name. Vic and the others, they were controlled. And this is why I'm no longer a solar. I no longer can summon wings. I can no longer plane shift. Maybe it is what I deserve. I've already died twice. I'm here to deliver this message, but I can't help but feel like I should have just been taken with them. I should have never.
Demetria stops him, and she kind of, after there's a moment of hesitation before she puts like a hand on his shoulder or like on his bicep, and there's suddenly a moment where I feel like, at least in Demetria's mind, all the times in the past that she's spoken to Kildren, it's been on this unequal footing, that she's always been looking up to him. Maybe if not physically, but at least spiritually or, emotionally, been looking up to Kildren for guidance. But suddenly in this moment, she's looking at him from an equal level. And she says to him, look, no matter what happened, right? And she kind of makes I'm sorry to say that like this face, but I mean, redemption is available to anyone willing to take it. And if you're willing to give it all for us now, I think that might be the thing that gets you back where you were, right?
I think so. I hope so.
I know so. I know so.
I can tell you this. I don't know how long that portal stays open. But essentially, if you're planning an assault on Celestia to take it back, that is the only way I see. And you will have to be like demigods to even stand a chance. But looking around at the room, you practically are. To the people of this world, to the people of the material plane. Vajra says, well, there is actually Celestia. If that's really a portal to Celestia, then there are a couple of... The only other ways in the books say that you would have to plane shift to the planes of air and then journey to Mount Celestia itself. Only a few heroes are documented to have done so. Then Lady Silverhand says, well, There's that way, and there is the other way. And that is tricking death itself that you are dead, claiming Bahamut as your heaven, Celestia as your heaven, and being ushered there yourself. Though I doubt anyone in this room wants to die.
I mean, personally speaking, I don't want to die, but what do you mean tricking death?
There is a very rare... Please don't take this as me saying we should try this, because actually I believe we shouldn't. I'm literally just laying down other options that I know about. Of course, looking at Kildren's option, storming the front gates, she probably expects us to come that way. But if we are strong enough and we can get there, and then there's Vajra's way, which will be a journey in itself, but there's a potion that is said to be so strong that it almost stops one's heart, or makes it appear to be stopped, so that when the Reaper or those that usher those to the other side arrive, they believe you to be dead. The problem is that along the journey, if they find out they get even a whiff of that you're lying to them, you will be fighting the wraiths of death themselves. It is probably not a good idea, but if successful, you'll enter Celestia probably without Tiamat's knowledge. And remember, without experience, all of this, even from the greatest wizards, is simply conjecture, hearsay, arcane, theories.
Demetra kind of makes a gesture with her head, like, well, I think we'll have to talk to the rest of the party about that, but I don't know, the path less traveled seems to be kind of our thing, if you haven't noticed yet.
Yeah.
I would say perhaps
I've definitely noticed.
Perhaps this would be a time to split up in the way that we approach Celestia, because I don't think that I would be able to trick death into understanding trick death into thinking that I am deceased.
And then there's
Split
also
party.
staying here in this world, and we have allies here, Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate. We can let them know that our defenses are strong. I am planning to call just this evening. I am planning to not call, but to set up a what does she call it? A project image to speak with Lord Neverember.
Astral project.
I mean, there's a lot of people here that need help, right here in the city and outside the city. Tiamat's got her armies on this plane, and she's got her claws into another. If we are heading into Celestia to try and handle her, maybe someone ought to
Project
stay
image.
behind and make sure that the people here get taken care of. That sounds like something you could handle while we're gone, and in case we don't make it.
Okay.
Well, I guess the problem is if we don't make it, then it doesn't matter if someone's left behind.
We are also, you all have gotten as far as you've gotten by, Vajra speaks it by making your own decisions and coming up with your own ways, and so do not look to us for the only answers here in this room, but maybe deep down in your guts and your spirits, maybe you all have an answer that we have not thought of.
Demetra,
Hmm.
you picked up something in the tower.
Wait,
What was that?
wait, we can't. All right. We don't know what it does. Okay. It can destroy the world or literally just fireworks.
What did you pick? They both, like Vajra labels it. What did you pick up?
It was among our friends' things, I think. And she pulls out the deck of many things.
A deck of many things? No!
Hey, this is mine. Fuck you. She's like smacking their
Mine.
hands. No.
If
Ladies
the
over
world
hands,
on
looks
the-
at Vajra and says, it's okay. You can trust it.
if the world is on the age of destruction as it is, then what do
You're
we have to
exactly on
lose?
We have the whole world to lose. That's
I mean,
You
if
know-
it's but we're already on the verge of losing it.
Do you understand what you hold in your hand?
it's a deck of cards and it's powerful.
In
That's
the
problem.
region of all of that we know in all of the Sword Coast, there is one deck and it was in that tower. Where did you find it?
in that tower.
Just tucked away somewhere in a box?
Now it was laying out. It seemed like our friend Eldricon had at least been considering it. He was a gambler. He was an arcane guy. It was out with his pipe on a side table.
And I think that Demetria kind of knows deep down that that's kind of why Eldricon probably left him.
Because
Not
he
to
didn't.
throw
He
them
didn't even
off.
pull any. He didn't even pull any. Is the thing that kills me. Is he had
It's-
them in hand.
it's- As a gambler, he left them for you all to gamble with. Knowing that you all, if you would have used them before even encountering him, you might change everything.
Malcolm,
maybe-
you are
maybe
not
it's-
making it easy. You understand. I need you all to understand how much I just want to say Demetria pulls a card right now.
Do it.
You shut up. My shoulder devil here.
Do
My
it.
shoulder devil. My shoulder
Think
Sean.
about it. You could save the world right now,
Or I could
Yeah.
kill the world. Or I could end up locked away in a gem somewhere.
or you could. I mean, or you could save the world,
You all seem
Or
to
a
know lot
literal
about these
manifestation
cards
of
that
death
have-
could appear right now.
or you could save the world.
Or I could become the owner of a keep that does nothing for us.
That'd be nice, actually.
Or one of our random people, because the fact that we don't have Stagot now, there's one of those cards is like you pull it and someone who's loyal to you becomes like a traitor, like it turns them against you, they become evil and they like begin to plot your murder. We don't have that many loyal people anymore.
Assuming that card's
Too
even
big
in
of
the
a
deck.
risk.
That
All
card
of
might
our
not even be in
loyal
the deck.
people right now are too powerful. There's no
It
one.
might not even be in the deck.
Don't worry, only Machina would be the one to plan your demise.
We've already been there. We've already been there. We've already done that.
Yeah, we already have that happen. We can fix
We've
it.
already been fireballed by him. It's passe. It's
You guys
been
have fought many of your allies already, right? It's just that there's
What's one more?
done. Malcolm thinking to himself like, oh yeah, I do make sure I'll do that often. No, Demetria puts the deck of cards away and kind of
If we decide that Tiamat's our ally and then we pull that and then she becomes good.
Demetria slaps a bow across the face.
Ah, God. They're really hot.
Go smoke something.
I'm out of cigarettes. Well, does anybody have any?
Look, we should probably all, at least the party of us, should talk about what we want to do. Whether we're doing something here to try and head Tiamat off. It feels like the more time we take here on this plane to try and handle things here, it feels like we're setting out small fires while Tiamat's just growing in power wherever the hell she is. So I think we need to talk to
She's
everyone
up there
about this.
right now. She's he kind of points.
How
I mean, they're in the
long-
room, but
Yeah, like how long until Kildren? How long until the portal closes? Is there any way to tell?
I don't know. I'm just a humble servant. I don't know these godlike things, but like I would imagine she would have even closed it by now.
We should leave the door open.
Can I have a insight check from everyone?
Not Arcana? Not that that's better for me, but
Insight 4.
Yep, I got 4.
I'll take an Arcana if that's better.
oh, natural one.
Oof.
And Arcana and which becomes a 0 because both my insight and my Arcana are -1.
Yeah, cheers,
Got a
Jason.
7, dog.
Can Pence give me advantage? Can you give me the
Your
help action?
snake?
Yeah, why not?
Not on this one.
Why not? He's a reptile. She's a reptile.
22
Wow.
Arcana.
Way to be presumptive about reptile experience.
Yeah.
All reptiles know each other, right? Right?
This little itty bitty
Amnon and
reptile
Pence are
clearly
cousins.
knows the god
Appreciation.
reptile.
During reptile appreciation month. Yes.
Listen, regardless of what's, I think it's important that we all share everything that we have right now, just so that we can make a game plan without missing any potential items that could help us.
So what are our numbers? Anybody what's got the highest in the roll?
22 for Arcana check. That's at a nice +10 for me.
Machina kind of goes out, stands on the balcony, and looks at that orb, the composition, the makeup of it, and realize that it is such a massive amount of magical energy and coalesce in one place that it is, it's almost like its own body of energy, and it's not going to dissipate anytime soon necessarily. And what Machina believes that it's probably being used as some sort of a portal, a transport to this material world in a very simple, very fast word. Of course, a god wouldn't need this, but maybe troops. And sure enough, Machina swear he sees in the distance, like a patch of dragon-like figures coming out of the moon and flying out towards the coast in an opposite direction, not towards Waterdeep. It's like a door. It's a doorway back and forth from the material plane to Celestia itself.
Can we get, because were Silverhand and Vajra, were they involved at all with like the Neverwinter, like we saw, I'm forgetting the name, but that general that we knew was like kind of marching on Waterdeep to try and help out, that Neverwinter kind of pack
Yes,
of soldiers.
so that has been.
Did they give us an update on them? Do they know what's going on with them?
That's who she's supposed to speak with tonight, and she's supposed to speak with Raynar. Because remember, young Raynar, his father died, so he's taken over, and so he's been
our best buddy Raynar. We owe him a lot of money.
Raynar is kind of leading that command, whether he's on the front line or he's back in Neverwinter. We don't know. It sounds like from what she's talking about, he's back in Neverwinter, commanding from there, and so probably has generals, moving to and fro on his command. That's the leader of Neverwinter.
Okay, so maybe getting an update from them might be a good first step in deciding what we want to do, because I'm thinking that if this portal is also how she's moving troops, maybe us attacking troops down here or helping them do something down here on the ground in my mind, if we can like take on someone like Cyanrath and maybe like put Cyanrath out of the picture, it might make Tiamat send more people this way. It wouldn't fix anything down here on the ground long term, but it would thin things up at Celestia for us to make a run on Celestia then.
Well, wouldn't that just drain our own resources?
Unless we beat Cyanrath and we keep everyone in the party alive.
But I mean, even if that, we've used spells, we've used our abilities, we've tired ourselves out.
Yeah, well,
What about this tricking potion?
I like the tricking death option, actually. Yeah, but I'm just thinking, I don't want to leave the people down here. I think there's still more we can do here on the ground with the time we have before we decide to make a run on Celestia. And I think when we do make a run on Celestia, I'm with Doc. I think that maybe this potion thing might be looking into.
Lady Silverhands kind of speaks up and goes, I'm sorry that I've been so busy trying to talk with Vajra, try to figure out our next steps, try to understand what this thing is in the sky. I did not even tell you how I made it back to the city. I went on the journey. We were able to use portals to get to the high mountains, the mountains of the metallic dragons. We have met with them. And then you all know she's talking about the group that has Kataya, and the rest of that group that had taken off and went to go talk to the metallic dragons. The metallic dragons have agreed to aid us, hence why Avix came back with me. The High Council, after we spoke with them, they gave each of us a dragon, and we were all to go our separate ways to go talk with another dragon in another part of the land. I know that we can't, I don't know if we have the time to wait, but they will be coming. I believe that they will be coming soon. Avix and I have already talked to the high dragon lords of the bronze dragons, and we will be getting the aid of the metallic dragons soon. That will bolster our defenses. Even though they cannot enter Waterdeep, we will have dragons at our command to use as we plead, gold and bronze, copper, so we can direct where they go, where they protect. Maybe as you say, maybe as we can start combat here, war, like you were saying, Demetria, but maybe providing a distraction, and maybe you all can ride dragons into that portal.
I think it's important that we prevent Tiamat from entering this plane, because even if we fight her here, that's going to be a untold destruction on this plane. I think if we keep the fight out of here, I think it's
Kildren says, and do you know, fighting her in Bahamut's throne room where she resides now, she will have all of his power, none of his weakness. Yes, you will avert destruction here, but the ball will be in her court. She will have the upper hand.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not. And she is kind of thinking about the deck. I'm not a gambler like Eldricon was, so I don't want to gamble on our chances of beating her on Big B's turf. But if we can keep her out of the material plane and keep her from destroying more innocent people, even if we fail, there's a lot of powerful people out here who can take up the fight after we're gone. But I think we should take the chance to try and keep her from destroying this plane while we can.
And plus, we're not completely going unarmed. And Amnon's going to pull out the dragon collar.
Just a little.
He's going to hit it on the ground a little bit and just be like,
should we do a quick hell revisit to make 4 more of those?
I don't have that many horns.
Do we have Kildren? You got 2 horns. Kildren's no. I got 2 horns. Kildren's got 2 horns. Amnon's got 1 horn. Boom. 5 horns right there.
A lot of horns.
A lot of horns, yeah.
Hashtag a lot of horns.
Amnon, can I have an advantage religion check?
Tempe wants to sign.
Amnon.
Tempe wants to sign to Demetria that Kildren got soft.
Demetrius signs back. He's been through a lot, man. Take it easy.
He's looking like Fat Thor.
Yeah, he's definitely Fat Thor.
I will say,
he's
attractive.
He's on his Peter moment,
Hashtag not my Killjoy.
Not my Killjoy. Not my Killjoy.
Not my Killjoy.
Bo's into it.
16.
He's got
Bo likes a guy with heft.
Amnon just hears in his ear the whisper and the rolling voice of Araka, and she says, "When the time is right, you will have hell on your side. The grounds will open up and we will send the fiends."
See, Araka didn't get soft. You see what's happening? This is
Mom's out here with backup.
this is a disappointing session. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's staying at a long-term hotel. Mom's got a 6-figure job.
Yeah, nobody took Asmodeus out of here. No one killed. That's good.
Because Asmodeus is the one that's going to be watching Tiamat when we handle her finally. So,
what if we fake the death to then use the contract that is signed by Asmodeus to resurrect the person who's not really dead?
No,
Does it
that
still
got like
count as a
handled. The
resurrection?
contract got handled.
Yeah, my contract is gone.
No, I'm saying the resurrection one,
Oh, the scroll of True Revivify, my thing.
Yeah.
because that is connected. That was
Oh.
made by Asmodeus.
No, it was made by that tiger dude. It's not with Asmodeus. It's that tiger dude.
No, he said he got it from Asmodeus.
Oh.
It's just that was his condition for giving it to you, was when it's used, you're in his service. Is he fake your death? And if it can trick death, can it trick the true resurrection to at least let us talk to Asmodeus?
I'm gonna say no because that's
It's
500 years
interesting.
of my life.
It'll be a gamble. Yeah.
Robbie would be pissed.
I mean,
That's gonna be-
gambling.
No, Pat. Sorry.
Don't.
interesting gamble.
Lex,
It sounds
I swear to
interesting.
God, Lex, if you make me pull one of these cards, I have been controlling every minute that I have had these cards has been a battle to not
Cheryl,
just throw
Cheryl.
out that I pull one.
This
Hey, Cheryl,
is, this is
live your
This
life.
is the episode.
No,
Cheryl, you know you want to.
How many
I
chances
know
are
I
you gonna
want
get
to.
to
I
live this
am aware
moment?
that I want to, Lex.
Do it.
But I'm under the influence. You
Do
shouldn't
it.
pull. That's one of the rules. Is
Do
you
it.
can't pull from a deck of many things while
Just
under
pull
the
one.
influence.
Just pull one.
Just let Machina pull one.
Just take one.
Just the tip. Just pull. Just,
Just
a
take
little.
one.
You
Just
lose
take
your
one.
soul. What soul?
Just take one.
Also,
No, I don't do it.
Machina would bring
No.
Machina would bring up his kin. Like, we
This is
fought
that
one of
moment
his
in the
kin.
campaign if you want to like make the DM think harder about how this goes.
Malcolm, can you mute
Sorry,
Lex
go ahead,
real quick?
Machina.
Can you
Go
mute
ahead,
Lex
Machina.
real quick?
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Go ahead.
No.
Jameson.
So, Machina and his kin like to fight.
So we're gonna go do that.
Tiamat.
We're gonna go fight Tiamat.
Tiamat is a big fight. We could quickly find a way to track down all of Machina's kin to be like, hey, you want in on this big fight. Because that is the primary
all the brothers
directive.
Machina. What if? Because can Demetra ask whether all of the ground troops, Tiamat's ground troops that we're fighting, is it Cyanrath? Can we get like a confirmation that it's Cyanrath leading?
I think with the information that's going on over the course of the day, maybe Lady Silverhands and you all would try to like speak with those down on the ground. Demetria, give me a D100 roll
Oh, making me pull out dice I never roll.
with a 60% chance of confirming whether it is Cyanrath or someone else
So
leading.
either Malcolm or Lex, whoever gets on the mic faster, remind me how you count the D100 roll.
Roll. Tell me what you roll, and I'll tell you if it's wrong. What both
I
say.
rolled. I rolled a 6 and a. I think that's 90. 96.
96.
So it's 96. Okay. There are no confirmations over who is kind of running the show down there. Though there have been no confirmations of when you ask about this Cyanrath, they haven't heard any. Kind of like, I imagine like messages are being sent from mages throughout this, like kind of like this internet connected web of like, kind of sharing what they know, and that's kind of how all this information is being traveling through Waterdeep. It's very like arcanic, magical, arcanic city. And so from that standpoint, what they don't know is if the Cyanrath is still alive, but no one has confirmed her death. And she was one of the high generals leading the assaults, like leading the protection of Waterdeep. What I will add is that she was originally head of flying a blue dragon, and has basically has been kind of word on the kind of street through the network is that she was promoted to the Red Dragon Army. So now she flies a Red Dragon.
She really likes the color red, eh? Okay, because my thought was maybe we could turn her, maybe if we saw her again, and try and use her to sneak in. But if I'm not getting a confirmation that she's alive, it's not worth lost time and chasing her down.
Unfortunately, you broke her heart, so that's a no-go now.
I'm like, hey, remember that offer you made me? What if I took you up on that now? Take one for the team.
Demetra, if you're leaning in on this and saying this is something you're basically trying to get those in charge to like get more information on, can you give me a persuasion check that you're basically giving to Vajra or Lady Silverhand? Essentially the same, the kind of committee here.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
I am good at persuasion. So that is an 18 plus 8, 26.
Okay. So the course this
Finally,
day,
something I'm good at.
Yeah.
Demetrius like, well, you know, there was this girl. Her name was Cyanrath.
Yeah. And everyone kind of knows the general, and as these conversations are going back and forth over the next, maybe a couple hours, a few hours later in the day, Lady Silverhands gets confirmation that Cyanrath's her and a group of Dragonels were spotted not far outside of Neverwinter. They have not been able to confirm a camp, but they saw them flying and they were able to confirm her dragon due to the belly of the dragon she's having a distinct black stripes on it.
Okay, so that's an option, is if we don't feel like immediately storming Tiamat's place, then we can try that route. Being a little bit more targeted in who we're fighting down here on the ground. Because if we can fight Cyanrath and then maybe Turner, talk to her, convince her to flip sides for some leniency, maybe she'll help us get in without having to fake our deaths. Is my thought, anyway.
The only other option we have, as far as I can tell. I mean, we go in hot, we go in trick death, and she doesn't know where we're at. Or we try to flip her general, Tiamat knows we're not.
I definitely think that storming straight out is not a good idea. Because if she's leaving it open, then she wants us to come that way.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying. If half of us, if our more deceptive party members try to trick death while the other of us come in through the front, perhaps we could corner her.
Maybe.
I don't know. Half the party against the trap that's meant for all of us?
Yeah.
I'd rather we all sneak in together.
This is when we assemble the backup character Avengers.
This is when we each pick what NPC we'll play once if we die. Dibs on Silverhand.
Demetra, how certain are you that she'll even turn?
Not very, but
Because
even so, there's turning her. Ideal situation, we fight, we take a player off the board, we get someone with backdoor access to help us sneak in. Less than ideal situation, at least we take out something that's harming people down here on the ground before heading up to try and face her, however we decide to face her.
Is there any more power for her to get for waiting for us?
I mean, there's power in us getting taken out, probably. I don't know.
I see the benefits in both ways. Okay.
I
mean, Waterdeep's defended now. Waterdeep, we've got the Black Staff. What's that?
I think we do whatever is going to get us to the end result faster.
I think sneaking might be our best bet.
Yeah, I think so.
What's the path of least resistance, right?
Well, I mean, going after her would be
a lot of resistance.
Lenore looks
unlocking
at
a storm
Tempe, and
Yeah.
Lenore signs to Tempe like Demetria is good at. Demetria sees the good in everyone, and then she says Demetria saw the good in me. You saw the good in me. Maybe we can make more friends.
You heard the girl.
We saw her sign. We didn't hear her, but yeah.
Then
Tempe still says it out loud to you guys. You heard the girl.
Yeah.
Even though she signed it.
Amnon's gonna walk over, extend his hand to shake Demetrius' hand, and he's just gonna say, "Okay, I have faith in you. I'll follow you. Let's go."
Frightening thing, because I think that maybe Cyanrath might be a good thing to pursue while we're here.
Well, I've had a talk with Arapa, and hell is ready to come when it's needed. So
We got hell. We got hell to help us take over heaven.
heaven made hell to protect all of us. So. I say we do it. Let's go after her. See if we can either turn her or take her down. And if all else fails, we'll take the potion.
Yep.
How about get the potion ready here?
Yeah, well, Demetria will turn to like Silverhands and be like, if you can get that Silverhand and Badra, and be like, if you guys can get that potion ready, I think we have a general to visit.
We can do that. So speaking of, it's about that time as Lady Silverhands kind of steps forward, or actually Vajra, and she kind of takes the black staff, and kind of using this twin spelling situation, because I know the way project image works is not the way I'm kind of describing it, but basically she's able to project her image and also allow Raynar to project his image into the study, or actually she goes out on that like patio, kind of like open air overlooking the city, and like these hologram on his side, wherever he's at in his study or in his throne room, he's able to see Vajra, but also you all are able to see him, kind of this holographic version of him as he stands before you, and he goes, I commend you all, you've done very well. And I imagine that through his, even though he knows he's being projected, he can't really see everyone all that well. But he goes, I know the group, the left hands in the room, they definitely owe me money, but good job. Just let them know, good job.
Well, so I don't owe you money. I don't know you. Sorry.
Your voice sounds new. You new guy? New guy. Yeah. Watch out, this group. They don't pay debts.
Hey, his name's Bo.
Who's this?
Put the respect on it.
What is the debt? How much do we owe?
He does a little chuckle. It's fine. We go way back. Yeah. They helped me find my father's treasure. But
Treasure.
Long story. We're here now. Congrats to you all on taking back Waterdeep. We hope we can be of service. We have a good force. We are prepared to protect you, and we're also still trying to create some defenses here, though we don't feel as safe as there is no ward. So we suggest maybe we move troops to Waterdeep. If you feel that's fair, as Vajra replies, yes, I think we should do that. Are there any questions for Raynar? Any? Otherwise, I mean, they don't have to be.
How's what's the state? Just give us the state of how things are faring all across Neverwinter right now.
We've been good. We're a little spread thin. We sent armies to stop. Up until this point, Tiamat has only had one of her lieutenants, her great other outside of Cyanrath, a black dragon, holed up in Dragonspear Castle. Our forces failed there. We have not heard back from them, but we were able to capture Cyanrath this afternoon. We have her in a cell, and we are interrogating her. We haven't gotten much out of her, but she will break.
Well, then wherever the hell you're holding her, we're gonna be there. We've got.
I
Come soon.
don't think it's safe to keep her alive, honestly.
You think we should kill her?
I think it's probably for the best.
I think that she might be one of our only.
Listen, she
ways
is traitorous
back
and she
door.
should be executed, but we do need whatever information she holds.
Right, but if she's alive, there are people who are going to be trying to get her out.
This is true. Yes, you make a good point. Who is it? Who am I speaking to?
Well,
His name is Bo, and he drove us here.
Dimitri,
Hold on to her
understand.
We'll get there as fast as we can. Bo's right. It's dangerous to hold her, so be on your guard. But I
Avix
think
is like, I will fly you there. You have my wings.
Dimitri looks at Bo like, "Do you trust me this once?"
I do.
All right, then we're gonna be on your way. Then we're gonna be on our way to you, Raynor. Hold on to her for us.
Sounds good. We'll be ready for you. We're gonna get through this. We'll bring the fight to Tiamat yet. And he kind of puts a fist out, and
Left hand.
And as he does, like, you all kind of notice like a star.
Insight check. Insight check on him.
Give me an insight check. Yeah. You can give me.
Hold
an
up
insight
though.
check.
Hold up real quick. Insight check on him.
Give me an insight check.
I'm just remembering that we don't trust him. 10.
There. Your 10, not very good. Checks could be completely, but you get a very sincere. I mean, this man has sent his troops to protect, Waterdeep. Unless he's not unless he's not Raynar, which, I mean, it would be a weird.
Like at this point.
Yeah, it'd be a weird flex if Tiamat, if she's like not a real Raynar.
What's the?
And,
Isn't that how they conquered Rome? Basically, they
yeah,
just
fair.
slowly-
Fair. This is D&D world, but you get the feeling that like this is the same asshole but an asshole who's also trying to protect his people and protect the realm.
He did give us a nice house. No, wait, it was what's his face gave us a nice
Yeah,
house.
that's
He didn't give us the
Volo,
house.
Volo.
Volo gave us a nice house.
What's up with him? Where's he at? Is he-
Yeah, where's Raynor? I mean, where's Volo? Is he
You
alive?
haven't asked about him, so yeah, we will.
Shout out Volo.
They don't
Yeah,
care
that's
where
what it
he's at. They don't care
You all
about
see
him.
this like comet, like what looks like a comet streaking across, and where you all are stationed north would be where Neverwinter is, and like over those mountains, you see that comet kind of falling.
Can I do a nature check on that?
Nature check? You
Yeah.
can try, yeah.
So it was like it's unnatural.
Oh, it's probably come on.
Bo rolls a 1, it's a UFO.
18.
All you know is it's definitely nothing from nature itself. And then you
Arcana
hear
check.
Raynar goes, "What? What? No. Yeah." And then there's like this rumble. And you see like from the distance over the mountains, like a flash of light. Boom, boom. And the hologram just cuts. The magic cuts, and Vajra loses connection with Raynar. That's not good. That's not good. And
How is that?
then
Magical
suddenly,
ICDM.
the project image that was being cast, a new one appears in the room, and it's like bathed in this like violet glow, and you see standing in front of you this well-adorned, curvaceous, like pale woman, her hologram, and you all know it to be Takesis herself, Tiamat.
It must.
Slowly claps in her human form, just the vision of her.
Machina will sword slash the hologram. Just
Like he's just like slashing it. Don't get ahead of yourself there, Metal Boy.
Listen, alright, I have to admit, you do look good. Sorry. I
Yeah,
should
hey,
just
hey,
listen,
watch
I'm
this
sorry.
fuck
I'll just call it how it is.
She kind of kicks out a
sorry.
hip, like she's this,
Yeah.
like she's.
Why,
You know,
listen, if you
Tiamat's
weren't-
a baddie.
If you weren't trying to kill us, I would absolutely. but I'm
Demetria
sorry.
turns the dirtiest look on Bo.
Listen,
Their fledging friendship just died.
Happy giggles a little bit.
just look at, listen, I'm sorry. I'm just calling you how it is. She's evil. I understand that.
How many times have I had to say no?
Left hand. Congratulations on safeguarding your beloved city. But let me enlighten you. Waterdeep might be your safe haven, but it's also your prison. A gilded cage that shelters you from the full force of my dominion. Your battles have been mere distractions, while my darkness spreads unchecked. You're trapped, tethered to the place you sought to protect. And Neverwinter, she looks around, clearly has no dragon ward. I think this is Raynar's hand here. She kind of like picks up a piece and like throws it, flings it off, and it kind of just disappears. It's been a long time. I'm looking forward to whatever you try. But this is fun.
Demetrius
Wherever you go,
Demetrius
I will
steps
be there.
forward
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and leans forward, kind of like looks the hologram in its eyes. I'm glad you're having fun. Almost as much fun as we'll have, putting you back where you belong. Be seeing you. And I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic
Okay.
and cancel
goes-
the connection.
And she goes, "Ever just know that all of you are not safe." And she and actually,
Hang
well,
the
actually,
fuck
with
up.
her level,
Don't
does
call
she get
back.
to does she get to try to save? She gets to try to.
It's not a save, but it's for each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, I need to make a check using my spellcasting ability. So whatever level she's casting it at, what level is she casting it at?
Whatever the level is, she's not upcasting it. So whatever it is would be project image, and it would be at level. Just had it here.
Cut off before she was supposed to say some important shit we needed to hear. I think.
Did
Damn
I
it!
do that, Malcolm? Did I cut off some important stuff or just her shit talking us?
You kill it. It cuts. She goes, "Just know that."
Damn it!
Damn it, I'm sorry.
And you can see her face like, it's just.
Well, as long as
So
she's frustrated, then that's a win.
I love her just being a lady. At the end of the day, she's powerful, but she's still just a lady.
Yeah.
She's gonna go
so-
turn. She's gonna go turn to some lieutenant at her elbow, like, you would not believe what bitch just
She's-
hung up on me.
She's gonna
totally-
kill someone just out of
Definitely
spite.
killed somebody. As soon as you cut her off, she definitely turned around and fucked somebody up. For
Someone
sure.
comes in,
Radar was
it's
already
like
in pieces.
Or-
someone just comes in, it's just like, "Madam, you called for me." She just kills them. She
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
So-
Like, she explodes his head or something crazy. Like,
Lady Silver Hands is like kind of her spidey senses are tingling, so she's like, no. She was.
hey, bring her
she-
back.
And she starts kind of scrying, and she's focusing on Fizbin, and she can't see him.
No!
Like, she's not getting anything on him.
Damn
And
it.
so then, when she can't get a hold on Fizbin, she goes, "Who else is out there? Your other agents." And then she goes, "There's another," and she starts to cast again. This time, focusing on this, she begins to scry, and this image begins to appear. This holographic globe within her palm of her hands, and inside you see this colossal black dragon looming over this fallen knight. And as he stands up, he's like weak and bloodied. It's Caneth, and he's in front of a young woman, kind of blonde hair, and they both look disheveled and hurt, and he's looking her like kind of like with like it is at this daughter that it's going to be okay. And the dragon kind of looms down over them, like blowing their hair with its like. Caneth doesn't have a weapon within earshot, and it just taunts him, saying, kind of like, "I've always," this kind of black dragon that you can kind of see and you can like hear talking to them, bathed in this weird purple kind of green glow within the layer that they're in. You're trying to make out where they're at, and it said, "I've always wanted to play out the old fairy tale of the knight coming to save the fair maiden. the one you humans typically tell your children. But this time it will not have the happy ending you expect. And then it like rears back, that black dragon breathing in, preparing to kind of spit out that acid spew, seeing like Kaneth and his daughter there, and then the image disrupts as even Lady Silverhands cannot hold on to her scrying spell, and we crash to black and end there. Good game.
Ugh.
I don't know if this is intentional, but you also, if Tiamat came down like a meteorite and destroyed all of Neverwinter, that means Kaneth's wife is dead.
No, Malcolm is just wiping out the whole bloodline. Malcolm is like,
Damn, Malcolm, during Wife History Month?
Well, here's what I want to put out there. If their goal is to find Cyan Wrath, save any of their, they don't know. If they plan to go to Neverwinter to get Cyan Wrath to save anyone else, they would have to go and see what happened there. Is that still the plan? And that's what they have to decide.
no, the plan now is to fake our deaths and try and sneak in the back.
I will say, Demetria, I just hope you understand that we'll need luck at the end of the day to stop that.
So I see two things here, because here's the thing. If Cyan Wrath was being held prisoner and Tiamat attacked the city and put her in harm's way, you probably have a good point there to maybe probably have a leg up in trying to change her over. That's one thing. Two, you also now could go try to save Kaneth if you know where he's at. And I will say that based on what you know about where the last set of Neverwinter troops went missing, it's Dragonspear Castle.
Yeah, that place where we almost went there when we were like super low level, and then you really warned us about the fact that there was a black dragon there, and we were like, actually, let's go somewhere else.
And then so those are two options, or there's like straight to Tiamat. That's an option as well.
I think
there's
we
multiple
don't go
ways
straight
for that.
to
I have a question.
I really thought we were going to draw a card. I really thought that might happen.
I mean, we tried. Shirley.
I'm trying. I know Cheryl was like, I want the deck.
I'm so worried about
draw
it
a
fucking
card.
things up, because I'm so worried about it fucking things up.
Cheryl, you spent years asking for this.
I know.
And I
but
want
that's
you to
the
understand
problem.
something
This
right
is
now.
not a character who would pull this card. Aramis would have been 10
Also,
cards at once.
Making it rain. Aramis would have been making it rain.
Kaneth put his character in, DM's hands. I know Kaneth is strong, but a character on
He's
their
not
own,
one.
He's not a one. Yeah, he can't fight on his own, right? Like without
He ain't solo on a dragon.
So Kaneth is on a threat, and maybe he is. Maybe this is okay because there are casualties of war, but Kaneth could perish if they do anything else. They have to be prepared to live with that if Kaneth doesn't get out of that on his own, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, let them know that that's another.
You can't kill Kaneth. What the fuck?
I also do like that Jameson's characters are so unkillable that we saw him standing up after already getting. Man, ugh. How long is it gonna take him to make that death potion?
Lady Silverhands actually has one in the palace.
She's like, I just had one for a rainy day.
Just hanging out.
Let's all do shots together, guys. One last time.
So,
How does a robot fake its death? By drinking a potion.
He can turn
yeah.
himself off.
He just makes that blue screen of death noise.
We can turn him off.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if that works on Machina. I don't even know if Machina can transfer himself in the same way.
And then we can turn him on once we all
Machina
wake
can
up.
definitely go through the portal. Machina can definitely plane shift.
like,
but
my-
basically,
first
the
I was,
other
like,
route, the route
thinking-
you guys are talking is essentially going like astral projection, astral plane route.
At first, I was thinking, Malcolm, that you were like, that we were throwing a wrench in your plans and you were about to have to make like a second Cyan Wrath showdown for us. But now I'm like, no, we need to go face him. We need to go. We need to go kick down the door.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make me
I
pull
feel
from
like
the deck of many things, Lex.
I feel like it also makes sense for Tiamat to just nuke one of her people because she doesn't care about them necessarily.
Yeah.
She wants the power,
That's
Yeah.
true.
and
Showing your
if
power now.
she's tying up any loose ends, like if Signrath could be a possibility of turning her over, she would just wipe her out. She would just to get rid of her. It doesn't.
I want you to
like,
understand that doesn't mean that Signrath is dead.
Yeah, but it's at this point it's too big of a risk.
Yeah. And I didn't.
At
least
I
I
didn't
think
make.
it would
I
be-
didn't. I
Alright.
didn't make. I will say so. You don't think that you planned that, and I did that because out of spite.
Malcolm was
Neverwinter
like,
was always her next target. It was always going to be Neverwinter.
I have a
Because that's
question.
where all
Malcolm.
of the forces are. That's where it makes sense for her to attack. Now that she can't get Waterdeep, it makes sense.
Plus, it's been referenced multiple times throughout the story of the soldiers Neverwinters are actually
Yep,
the ones
yep.
fighting
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
The Hells are fighting. What are the Silver Shores doing?
The Silver Shores.
yeah,
Salune's place.
yeah.
Salune's
Um,
joint. All those
What's
werewolves.
she up to? What the fuck
I'm
is she
sure
doing?
they are. Yeah, we just haven't.
She's doing her nails. What do you think she's doing? She's partying.
She's drinking some milk.
Unfortunately, we lost the relevant character in our party that would have connected that plot.
He's
thread.
still there. He still exists.
He's like poking her on the shoulder, like,
I think you
you
can
don't want to do
imagine
something.
that even when we don't. If you're like, because here's the thing, you're also, Alex, you know a lot of Faerun lore and are bringing that in, but I can only bring in so much. So I imagine that for it to get super messy, yeah, of course there are those that are fighting back in their own regards. You know, we're focusing on like those close neighbors and things like that, but I imagine they are doing something. They're not just sitting around. Twiddling their thumbs. So if that's something that they maybe want to seek out or bring into the story, it's a possibility. So yeah, I don't know where they go from here. I don't know where they go from here. I don't know what they want to do.
I don't know. I always bring her up because I love her. As a player love Selene.
Yeah, no,
But
Selene's-
me as a character, he has some reverence for her, but he's not like specific to one deity.
I think
She's
those
not
that follow
Tempe.
Selune, Lathander, all those other gods are still doing their. It's also kind of my interpretation, which I know is not everybody's, but my interpretation. Because in Faerun, they're really D&D has recently started to do the whole Bahamut and Tiamat thing in the Fizban's dragons, but even before that, I've always kind of made them like the superior gods, even though they necessarily aren't. There's like I've kind of made them like the gods, and all the other gods kind of
Yeah.
lesser gods.
Can I tell y'all that in like the official lore that Selune actually is the person or the god that gave life to Toriel?
Yeah,
She's
Selene's-
mom. She's
Selene's
mother.
pretty badass.
She's mother. Yeah.
I will say,
I
there's
will-
also I like personally a lore where it's like the power of the gods is derived from like the scale of people who believe in them, kind of like American Gods style.
Mhm, mhm,
And so it
mhm.
makes sense if a huge universe disruption like Tiamat breaking out of hell happens, that all of the other gods are going to lose
Yeah,
kind of their powers because the people
Mhm.
on the material plane are going to see this happening, and that's going to lessen their ability to
Yep.
believe or like give power to their respective gods. So,
Yeah,
makes sense.
I agree.
You see a giant 5-headed dragon waste a city. That does kind of pull you up short on the thunder, doesn't it?
I'm running a campaign for some friends from work where essentially it's going to be them in the aftermath of this god who has lost her followers on the material plane, and just kind of seeing how that rot that has entered into her planar dimension affects her.
Interesting.
and Sean, don't be mad at me. I wasn't trying to play Tempe like a little bitch or anything. Like I was just so the way I think you see it. But
Or you mean Kildren? You mean Kildren?
Killjourn. I'm sorry, because I saw Tempe. To me, it was kind of like a very biblical moment. It's the Peter with Jesus moment. It's like
No, I think
Three times will deny me.
I think that's good. I wish I could have played it. I think that was really good. I
Because
think
it
that
makes
was
sense too, because it's like Kildren before this, Bahamut was just silent and gone, right? And so it's like Kildren already has had like months
he's
of
been on some
silent.
shit. He's gone through some shit. Yeah, like he went from being like an archangel of Bahamut to this motherfucker being not being around. So he's been drugged through the whole shit right now. You know what I mean?
But
So it
I
makes
also
sense
hope you
to
get
have
that
you
the
know?
reason he denounced him is because Tiamat had taken Bahamut's power, and
Mm.
therefore she was taking control of his angels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he did it, he would have been one of
Right.
them. He would have been like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he kind of, it was like, I don't think any of the other celestial beings thought to like fight it that way. And so it's kind of
Kildren's a
this
fighter.
weird-
Kildren's like a dude who digs his heels in.
Oh
so
yeah,
he
it
wasn't.
makes super sense.
So by like
Yeah.
throwing the mantle off and like getting rid of his position, he saved himself. You know, so like that was like it wasn't. So there's also a reason like almost like had to. You know,
I
it's
like
Peter
it.
had to see, he would have
Yeah.
died otherwise, or
Tempe
you guys
thought he
essentially had
was
to fight
soft.
Killjoy.
Tempe thinks he's soft, but
Yeah.
I like
Tempe thinks
Arc, man.
everybody's soft.
It also
like,
it's
That's
also
the
because
thing. Yeah, Tempe thinks everybody's soft, right?
also because Tempe's perspective is that Kildren was someone that Demetria was trying to like
Yeah.
impress, and Tempe has that whole thing with Demetria where he thinks that Demetria
Yeah,
doesn't
like
need to
I'm
prove
like,
herself
why
to
are
other
you trying to
people.
impress this
I want to do a
motherfucker?
video essay.
You
Is
bitch
Tempe
made now.
toxic masculinity?
Tempe is toxic equality. Tempe is
Yeah.
toxic.
Yeah. He's empowering Demetria to realize that
Yeah,
she don't
he's
need-
very strange.
She
He's
don't,
like
she don't need a man in her life to look up
he's
to.
like
He's
following
very
this woman,
strange.
but like,
Yeah.
it's like he's like
She
He's
can
like,
do it.
Demetria is
She
a real
can
man.
do it.
Wow,
Demetria is a real
Malcolm.
man.
Oh, Malcolm, very weird to say that he's strange because he's following a woman. But
No,
whatever.
that's not.
I know. Wow, during Women's History
Tempe-
Month. Now,
Wow.
what the fuck,
If I
dude?
had to, I get very much like these, like very overt, like old school kind of like masculine vibes from Tempe. So then it's kind of interesting at us because in the way he judges other
Because he's from a
men.
matriarchy.
Yeah, he's from a
where
matriarchy.
the-
Yeah.
where the women are
Yeah.
the ones in power, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, put it all together. Let me figuring it out. Like,
but it's also
I know-
well because it's also
I
wait,
thought this
'cause
was a
here, let me
safe
get-
space, so I could talk it out.
Let me
No,
get,
it's
yeah,
not.
let me
No,
get-
it's
wait,
not.
let me get nuance on you.
A...
Let me get nuance on you, right? Though, because Tempe comes from a matriarchy, which we
Yes.
presume would be, a reversal of the usual sort of hierarchical structures, would be more enlightened.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's still a hierarchy that is very binary, right? That women are the
Yeah.
warriors and men need to prove themselves. So at the same time,
Yeah.
where kind of in a
Tempe-
second wave feminism way,
Yeah.
Tempe
see
is
it
a
as being
Ken.
empowering, but
Tempe is a Ken.
really, hierarchy is the problem, right?
Right.
Feminism
right.
is about making everyone equal, not about elevating women above men. And so
Yeah.
that's the thing about Tempe is it's not toxic masculinity, but in a way it's kind of
Is it
toxic
though?
feminism.
Okay. I like it.
Malcolm's so scared to say anything.
A lot of this new age feminism is kind of like I know a lot of my
They
friends
can
saw
cancel
Barbie,
me.
and they said Barbie was essentially women above men is the theme. And
Well,
I don't
actually, I will
really
argue with
care.
that. I will actually argue with that because the thing was that men need to find their own place, that men cannot define themselves per their relationship to women, which technically in Barbie Land, women do not define themselves in comparison to men, which is what makes them empowered. But men in Barbie Land define themselves in reference to women, which is still problematic. And so that's
Barbie's
about the
world.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it- no,
And
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
Ken needs to
I
find
heard it was
himself.
the
He's
joke
enough.
going
Yeah.
around is that
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
which
The
is what
joke
Barbie
that
says at
Barbie
the
is
end of the
Black
movie.
Panther for white women, and it is hilarious because there's these people
Oh, I
doing,
saw
like,
that shit. I laughed like
Bro,
a
that
Barbie
shit's
Land
hilarious.
forever.
They're
Barbie
literally
Land
going, okay,
forever.
because what they do is they basically say, okay, let me give you a synopsis of this movie, and what the person does is gives a synopsis for Black Panther,
Oh,
but they
God.
show clips from Barbie, and it is hilarious. It's the
Stop.
same.
I saw that.
No,
shit,
it's
man.
it's
Send it in
Barbie
the chat.
forever, and then you have to do a split.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I was cracking up.
Yes.
Oh, bro.
Malcolm, I sent you a DM.
Okay.
Oh God.
on Zoom or in Discord?
Discord.
Tempe loves all the broads. Tempe's a big fan of powerful women.
Unlike
I think we all
Sean,
drank
I like Sean. and
Unlike, unlike
It's so funny. It's so funny that Tempe's like, yeah, I love powerful women. And for the first half of this campaign, Demetria was so unsure of herself that she's
But
like,
that was the thing. He saw it in her. That's the whole point. There's more going on in this campaign. I think Tempe's not involved in the big fight. He's involved in the minutia of the group dynamics.
Mhm.
mm,
You know?
mm.
And I feel like everyone kind of sees Demetria as the matriarch of the group.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
As much as
Absolutely.
Demetria hates it, as much as Demetria
Yeah.
doesn't want to be seen
like
as
you guys are figuring out like what's happening, like what the next step is, and he's like playing got your nose with Lenore. You know what I mean?
Well, because I'm
Right,
also
right.
I'm remembering all those moments that Tempe had with Elric in that prison
Yeah.
and with Ultron early on, where Tempe has always kind of been this really like, no, you've got this, man, kind of like,
Yeah.
background presence for everyone.
Well, that's because Tempe spent a lot of time in the woods by himself.
Tempe's our foundation. Tempe's our foundation. If Tempe
That's why he
falters,
loved
we all
Robbie
trip.
so much, man. They went from frolicking in the woods together.
Speaking of Robbie, Malcolm, you were like, everyone, you're like, Demetra accepted the Lenore, Tempe accepted Lenore, and that was it. And Robbie was behind.
Robbie was like, I'm not going to tell him about her blowing up people's heads because that's stupid.
That's what was always crazy, that Ravi never told her what they saw, like that just raw power of, of Bahamut, I think it's, I what I do like is that in game, both in narrative and in game, you have a key to, you get rid of Lenore, you get Bahamut back.
Is it just
skills.
Lenore? Well, I mean, what?
Here's
Because right
Lenore
now,
and Fizbin and
she
three
tried
others.
to
here's my
scry
question.
and she did not get a hold on Fizbin. So she doesn't know where Fizbin is.
But my question is Tiamat, because if Tiamat knows that if we kill them, Bahamut comes back, so is she
Yes.
keeping them alive somewhere?
No. So what I was trying to convey earlier is from Killjourn and from Lady Silverhands and Svajra, is when I pulled Dimitri aside, is that Tiamat is like fucking with you. She's like,
She's like, just do it, and you'll have
she's
your
like,
little friend
if
back.
you
You'll
really
have your
think
little
you
god
want it
back.
like that, then that's I gave you that one if you want to even the scales. But I
here's-
think she's kind of like, I know you won't do it. Like it's a taunt. It's like,
Rocky
You
You
was
know
Can't
what?
eat
back.
Knowing
bars.
How
obvious
does
things
she
about
know-
me doesn't
okay.
make you smart. Knowing obvious things about me
doesn't
doesn't
know,
make you
She doesn't
smart.
know that we won't do it, though. I don't think
she
she
does,
knows.
maybe she doesn't, but she's betting.
She knows Rackflesh ain't there anymore.
But here's the bigger question. Here's the bigger question that I have, right? Out of character, of course, like outside of the game. Like that would mean that these people were not always like this, right?
Mhm.
So at one point she was like, there's a normal girl here. There's a normal little kid here, right?
Yeah.
There has to be a way outside of killing these vessels to reclaim Bahamut. There has to be, because how could those pieces have gone into these vessels and these
Well,
vessels survive
no,
them?
we
That-
They're-
Well, the vessels were created, right?
Vessels are
They were
strong.
avatars. They were vessels
Right?
created that.
Because that's the thing is, so if Bahamut ever visited like Earth, he could do it
He would-
through one of
he
his
would come as
avatars.
one.
Not all
He
of
would
them
come
at
as
once.
one of them, right?
So that
Yeah.
so
Now,
that
here's what we
means
don't know though. So far as
that
I don't think
we have to
Fizbin
be
ever
able to
said.
extract that.
One
What are you
thing
talking
that Fizbin never, he had visited the Earth as all those other forms, and maybe I didn't make this clear when you met him, but he's never visited the Earth as Lenore. So Lenore's the one avatar that he's never been before in his entire existence, but he knows she's an avatar of him, if that makes sense. So these aren't people that are like possessed with Bahamut. They were, every other version of him was a Bahamut. So there's Fizbin Bahamut, there's like the halfling monk Bahamut, there's the Black Jesus Bahamut. That is the one that I created.
Let's
There
see that
is-
one. Where's that one?
He's gone.
Why
He's gone.
can't we see that one? I want to see Sling Johnson come out in this motherfucker. Let's go.
Roll
it back. Let's get Black.
Dude, that's my favorite shit
He
ever.
was,
That
he
Black
was the
Jesus-
Bahamut of my other campaign that I used.
Man.
Wait, what city did we have to go to meet him?
Yeah, is there a Compton?
There
Is there a
was one.
Compton in Faerun?
Compton?
like-
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
there's got to be a Compton in Faerun, right?
See, this is what I find. I'll push back on you a little bit there. That's a little stereotypical because blackness is so beyond the hood. Like, we exist on this
You
planet.
said Black
It's so-
Jesus.
and if you say Black Jesus, you don't think about anywhere but Compton,
I thought the show. I'm
the
thinking the show.
Caribbean, the
Black Jesus.
islands,
Sean
Africa, the
getting his
multiple
Sean
countries,
getting
the nations,
his
the
honorary.
Cushites, the Ethiopians,
No,
there's so
I'm
many
thinking-
kingdoms. There's so
Hail
many places
Celeste.
that we, the
Cancel.
Moors.
Sean
I'm just
Cancel.
saying.
I'm thinking the show Black Jesus.
There was
Right.
a literal
So when we-
show
and
called
that was
Black-
a little-
There's a literal show Black
Right,
Jesus.
and I know that's what I'm pushing back on is this idea
Yeah,
of
and it's
blackness is
amazing.
so small when we exist so big in the world. And
Sure,
I don't like that
sure.
idea. So my idea of blackness is never that small. I'm never gonna have like an Afro samurai. He's gonna do hip hop and cut stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's not
Keto,
blackness.
hip-hop keto.
Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that hip hop has grown and expanded out, but it's a small American view of like blackness, and unfortunately, because
only
America is
50
such a
years old.
great view of blackness, it's how most of the world views blackness.
Yeah.
And then if you go to take it further, blackness doesn't really exist. So in the way that like me being black is something that someone imposed on me from another culture. So if you go back in like old, you don't find in history like old Ethiopians, they call themselves dark. They don't call themselves black.
Yeah, nobody calls himself black. Yeah,
That's-
yeah,
that's something
racialization.
that was-
Racialization.
Racialization of people.
That's the colonizers,
So
bro.
super-
White people
So
started that.
This
Shout
is
out
what
to
I'm
white
saying.
people.
When someone calls me black, or
Stop
someone
starting
call,
shit.
this is why white people have a problem with being called white. Like with because when you really get down to it, your whiteness is really not who you are. Your whiteness,
Yeah.
it's your ethnicity, it's your culture. Are you from Scandinavia? From a Western European? Are you Eastern European? But your whiteness is a racialized term that was used to give you power.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, it is what it is. I'm not one of the people that be throwing around white supremacy and stuff all the time, but it is what it is. It's like, it's not blackness. It's not something that I inherently am. It's something that a system tells me I am. And I have to abide by it because it works
Jesus,
that way.
though, because I think the show.
You know?
I go straight to the show because that's like my favorite show. I love that.
And being
shit.
a black American, you have a greater disconnect because you don't have that same understanding of like, you can't track it all the way back.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have such,
Yeah.
you have a history that's literally been wiped out.
Yeah.
And so all you can be is black. You know, all you can be is African American, which is essentially a continent American. Like, you know, it's not like I'm a continent American.
Yeah,
Instead of
because
being like
black
a country
Americans-
American, right?
Black
like, you know,
Americans aren't taught about like they're not taught about like how math was invented in African countries.
No,
and
it's purposeful.
science
That shit's all-
stuff was
like,
invented
you know.
in African, came out of African countries
Listen,
and Middle
yeah.
East and stuff.
you know,
Math came from the Middle East.